Bob Greasy has stepped in after being injured. For Earl Morrill, who got him to that undefeated season. They've got two 1,000-yard men in the backfield and Mercury Morris and Larry Zonka. They've got a great receiver in Paul Warfield. We know these things. These are names and numbers and features that those listening do know. But again, going against those defenses, what do you think they will do? And first of all, since Miami is the visiting team, let's start with those undefeated Dolphins.
Well, Jim, I think as far as the Dolphins are concerned, in their running game, I think it'll be imperative that they run right at the Redskins' defensive right end, Verlon Biggs. And for this reason, where Biggs will hurt you the most is when you let him freewheel, when you let him have some room to operate, to chase plays, to help out teammates on tackles. He has great pursuit, extremely quick for a man who's his size. He's 6'4", 275. So I think we'll see the Dolphins testing Biggs very early in the game and going right at him for that reason alone. In their passing game, I think we'll see Bob Greasy, the Dolphins quarterback, using a great variety of formations early in the game, trying to see how the Redskins will line up defensively against each formation. And his object in doing this is to find a formation, an offensive formation, in which he can get his wide receiver Paul Warfield on a one-on-one situation with a single Washington defensive back. He'll throw up all sorts of sets. He'll come out in formation, man in motion, trying to figure out and have his scouts up in the press box tell him how they're covering, and hopefully trying to find an offensive formation that will force Washington, or by Washington's own election, to cover Warfield one-on-one. Offensively for the Redskins, I think they'll try to do two particular things, possibly three. First of all, in their running game, I think we'll see them using plays designed to isolate the Dolphins' middle linebacker, Nick Buoniconti. You might remember what happened in the Dolphins' Super Bowl game against the Dallas Cowboys. They had a lot of influence. Buoniconti is so quick at filling holes, and he is so fast and moves so well. Well, I think the Redskins will show Buoniconti one picture, let him react to it, and then run away or counter from that action, counter plays, because as I say, he is so fast, and I think they will take his speed and use it to their advantage by doing that, trying to influence him, get him to take a quick move so that they can get that center in there and make a good block on him. In passing situations, well, I think the Redskins tight end Jerry Smith, as we mentioned early in the broadcast, he could be really a big factor in this game because of the difficulty I think the Redskins will have in throwing to their wide receivers. Miami uses primarily a double outside zone in their secondary. They use it a great deal. The odds are really against your completing many outside passes to wide receivers against them. So I think the Redskins may feel that their best bet, and perhaps their safest bet, will be to go to Smith over the middle, both short and long, because Smith does have the speed to get deep.
Let's talk about specifics now, if we may. And again, we may be repeating ourselves because so many of you know these teams backwards and forwards, know their record, have been counting down along with us from the end of the National and American Football Conference Championships to the start of Super Bowl VII, which is now about a quarter of an hour away. But again, for those who may not know, the Miami Dolphins are the first team in National Football League history to go through 14 games without a loss. As a matter of fact, they've now won 16 in a row, defeating Cleveland, coming from behind in the divisional playoff of the American Conference, and then coming from behind again to take Pittsburgh 21-17 to advance on to the Super Bowl. Miami's last loss was in the preseason, and it was to the Washington Redskins, 27-24, when field goal kicker Kurt Knight converted with 36 seconds to go. As far as the Redskins are concerned, they are 11-3-0 under George Allen. They lost their last two games of the season to Dallas and Buffalo, but came back strong to beat Green Bay and Dallas, and neither of those teams scored a touchdown against the Redskins. And under George Allen, in his second year in Washington, they had by far and away their best record ever. More Super Bowl color in a moment, but right now from Los Angeles, let us pause 10 seconds for station identification.
This is KMBR San Francisco.
Now they're going to do this Super Bowl. Again from Los Angeles, Jim Simpson with Kyle Road. Right now, the University of Michigan band has been formed on the field in the Roman numerals 7. And in just a moment, they're going to welcome everybody to Super Bowl VII. Let us listen to their fanfare. Bombs burst overhead. plays the fanfare around the track now of Apollo 17, the recovery capsule being towed behind them. In an open convertible becomes Navy Captain Eugene Cernan, Navy Commander Ronald Evans, and Dr. Harrison H. Smith, the last three men on Apollo 17, our last moonshot of the 20th century. And they're getting a hand as they go by the stands here now. Rockets are going into the air, shot from the end zone to our left. The short of Apollo 17 being towed by a truck, American flag, the NASA, Apollo insignia, of course, with the entire scheme, red, white, and blue.
And those rockets, Jim, turned into little parachutes.
And little recovery capsules, Kyle. Cascading down over the more than 90,000 here at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. This is only the seventh year, the seventh Super Bowl game, but how it has progressed. I can recall being back here for our first broadcast of Super Bowl #1. Remember that? Vince Lombardi and his fabulous Green Bay Packers against Hank Stram and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs, who were later to win a Super Bowl title, were involved in that first one. Lombardi's Packers and the older, respected National Football League put it to the Kansas City Chiefs and won big. We're all even now, of course, but in those days, with the city of Los Angeles blacked out for television, nevertheless, only about 60,000 people showed up. Now, here we are 6 Super Bowls later. Super Bowl VII about to start. All of Los Angeles can see this game on television. It is not blacked out. And yet here in Los Angeles, we have a capacity crowd of 90,182 and about that many more that would love to have tickets to see this undefeated Miami, the very slight underdog to the Washington Redskins.
You mentioned the undefeated Miami Dolphins, Jim. That undefeated season didn't come too easy for them. Their first real scare came in Minnesota. That was in the third game of the season. And after fairly easy victories over Kansas City and Houston, with only 4 minutes, 15 seconds left to play, the Dolphins trailed the Vikings 14-6. And at that point, Garo Yepremian kicked a 51-yard field goal to cut the Vikings lead down to 14-9. And then with less than a minute and a half to play, greasy head tight end Jim managed for the go-ahead touchdown, and they hung on to win it 16-14. From that point on, they went on in order to beat the Jets, San Diego, Buffalo, Baltimore, Buffalo again, a big 52-0 win over New England, and going for their 10th straight win against the Jets in the Orange Bowl. But in the fourth quarter, they trailed the Jets in that game, 24-21, and then this time it was Mercury Morris to the rescue with a winning touchdown, and they won it 28-24, and the unbeaten record was kept intact. And that was followed then by victories over St. Louis, New England, the New York Giants, and then they closed out their perfect regular season record of 14 wins with their second shutout of the Baltimore Colts. As far as the Washington Redskins are concerned, their road to this berth here in the Super Bowl today started out a little rocky too. In their opening game against what was then considered, and I think we would all agree with this, the very powerful Minnesota Vikings, Larry Brown and Charlie Haraway had to put together back-to-back fourth-quarter touchdown runs to pull the Redskins from behind in that one to win it 24-21. Then they eased past St. Louis, but their third game against the weaker New England Patriots must have caught them napping. The Patriots upsetting the Redskins 24-23 for loss number 1. After easy wins over Philadelphia and St. Louis, well, then came the big test against the Super Bowl VI winners, the Dallas Cowboys. And in the third quarter of that game, the Cowboys had piled up a 20-7 lead. The Redskins came back to win it 24-20, took over first place in the National Conference Eastern Division, and it seemed to have really given the Redskins all the edge they needed. They went on to knock off both New York teams on successive Sundays, got the Giants again on the third week, then Atlanta, Green Bay, and Philadelphia before losing their final 2 games against Dallas and Buffalo. But losing those final 2 games, it was sort of anticlimactical at that time. They already had the playoff position wrapped up. Also, Larry Brown did not play in those last 2 games, which of course reduces their offensive punch considerably.
The University of Michigan band is now lined up on the 15-10-5 goal line and in the end zone facing the opposite end of the field. And in just a few moments, we will have the introductions of the players for the National Football League. In watching the Redskins come on the field, and they came on fully 15 minutes ahead of the Dolphins, and then watching the Dolphins of Miami come on the field, you get the impression for several different reasons that the Washington Redskins are the favorites of most of those here in Los Angeles Coliseum this afternoon. Not all, of course, because across the way, a great great contingent of fans from Miami and around the country who follow the Dolphins, and they have been waving their significant and now familiar insignia of a plain white handkerchief. You can tell the Dolphin fans everywhere. The Redskin fans, despite the hot weather this afternoon, many of them are wearing woolen stocking caps. But I think that you will be able to hear as they are introduced, it seems to me at least, because this is a National Football Conference town, and the Redskins belong to that, and since this is the town in which George Allen got his first start as a head coach in the National Football League, that in the city of Angels, at least, it is a Redskin town. Whether or not they will win remains to be seen. Speaking of Angels, the little Angels have come out onto the field and are lined up along the sideline, and this little group of cute little girls and boys will sing for us our national anthem in just a moment. Also, our Pledge of Allegiance will be done by the Apollo 17 crew. And when they begin to introduce the players to the crowd, we will introduce them to you, and we'll do that in just a moment, as we'll be back for the opening kickoff in 1 minute.
Now, you've heard us speak about Mackie picture frames before, but here's something you'll really want to look into. Mackie is closing their San Jose store located at 456A Willow Street, and they're running a 50% off sale on all their merchandise. You see, Mackie Picture Frames does not have any room in their other 8 stores in the Bay Area for the fantastic frames, prints, and paintings that are stored in San Jose. So go to their showroom located at 456A Willow Street and take advantage of this great 50% off sale. Now, the sale is on now. Mackie Picture Frame specializes in custom framing of the highest quality. Let their experts tailor a picture frame to your painting or print. Or come into Mackie Picture Frames at 456A Willow Street and take advantage of our great 50% off sale.
It is an expectant crowd here in the Coliseum in Los Angeles awaiting now the introduction of the players. The officials have already come out, and I might tell you that the coin toss has already been accomplished, as they do in professional football. They will have a simulated coin toss a little bit later on. The Miami Dolphins won that toss and will receive. The referee is Tommy Bell of Lexington, Kentucky, and for Tommy Bell, this is his second Super Bowl. His first was in 1969 when the New York Jets upset the Baltimore Colts. Umpire this afternoon, Lou Palazzi. The headlinesman is Tony Viteri. Bruce Alford is the line judge. The back judge is Tom Kelleher. And Tony Scover is the field judge. Now, for a game of the importance of this, we have 2 alternates, Walt Parker and Fred Silva. Why? Well, someone could come up sick, there could be an emergency, or there could be an injury, and in the latter games of the National Football League season, that happened more than one time. And Kyle, we were talking to Tommy Bell and Associates yesterday, and the officials are just as up for this game as you and I are, and as are the Dolphins and the Redskins and their fans.
Well, and I think understandably so too, Jim. You know, they're like everybody else, coaches, players, fans. They're, I guess, a composite of all of those things, plus technicians at what they do. But they also have that same feeling, the sense of this really being the climax of the entire year, how important it is to everybody, not just the players involved, but everybody watching, all of the other players who have contributed toward this great season this year. So they are understandably fired up, tense, concerned, as, you know, well, they should be. Their job is such a critical one, such a tough one. Every call they make has to be on the button as far as it can possibly be as far as they're concerned. And I don't envy them their job. Thank goodness we do have in the National Football League some of the finest officials of any sport. They are... It's hard to understand how tough their job is, because they're calling it at ground level. Most fans have a chance to look down on the field of play, see things that you really can't see. It's sort of like looking across a ballroom in a cocktail party and trying to find a friend. That's the perspective.
The Miami Dolphins are now being introduced, and I think you can hear the roar of the boos of the Redskin fans and the cheer of the crowd of the Dolphin fans as they trot out on the field. And since they will receive, let us give you the starting lineup. Paul Warfield, 1 wide receiver, number 42. At left tackle, perhaps Wayne Moore, 79, or perhaps the until now injured and limping Doug Toussaint, 77. At left guard, number 67, Bob Kuchenberg. At center, Jim Langer, number 62. At right guard, perhaps the premier pulling right guard of the National Football League, number 66, Larry Little. Number 73, Norm Evans will be at right tackle. The tight end, and he has been in the Super Bowl before with the Packers, Marv Fleming, number 80. The quarterback, injured much of the year, will be Bob Greasy, number 12. Mercury Morris, 22. Jim Kidd, 21. Share one running back spot. The other is held by Larry Zonka, number 39. And the other wide receiver, Harold Twilley, and of course, Don Shula. A very successful coach of the Miami Dolphins. In 10 years, has won more than 100 games. But now the crowd comes up because here come the Redskins. They are introducing their defense. Ron McDowell, 79 at left end. Bill Brundage, 77 at left tackle. He'll be replaced on running plays by Manny Sistrunk. Darren Talbot, 72 at right tackle. Verlin Biggs, 89 at right defensive end. The linebackers, veteran Jack Pardee, 32 on the left side. Chris Hamburger, 55 on the right side. Harold McClinton, number 53, is the middle linebacker. Their cornerbacks, Pat Fisher, 37 on the left. Mike Bass, 41 on the right. Their strong safety is Brig Owens, 23. Their free safety or weak safety is Roosevelt Taylor, number 22. There is one primary injury to one of these ball clubs that Kyle and I have not mentioned until now. That is that Tim Foley, left cornerback for the Miami Dolphins, suffered a shoulder separation in the American Football Conference game with Pittsburgh and is missing this game, and Lloyd Mumford is stepping up into his role. And young Henry Stuckey, drafted originally by the Detroit Lions, cut by them after training camp, picked up by the Dolphins, is activated for the first game of his professional career, and guess what it is? It's the Super Bowl here in Los Angeles, California. The players now, the Redskins on the near side, dressed in their gold pants, red jerseys, white numerals, gold helmets with the yellow feathers and spearhead on them. They are the home team. Across the way, the Miami Dolphins, primarily in white uniforms, with kind of a tangerine and green color, with the green being the predominant color of their numbers. George Allen, National Football League Coach of the Year last year, went on to, with his first Redskin team to the playoffs and lost to San Francisco. This, his second year, he has made it all the way. And for the second year in a row, Don Shula has his Dolphins here in the Super Bowl. The Redskin captains are now meeting at midfield with the officials. They will have again the simulated coin toss. This is a specially struck coin with the head of the late Vince Lombardi on one side and Lombardi's code of winning on the other side. And those members of the winning team will get examples and copies of that original coin. Now the Dolphins, Kyle, as expected, and as we said before, at the regular coin toss, 30 minutes before the game, have signified to the crowd, not only have they won the toss, but will receive and will go from our left to right. That means they'll be going from west to east.
And it'll be interesting to see if they do what we anticipate, and that is come out with many different offensive sets to see how the Redskins will defend them. Bob Greasy. Interesting, we were talking about the quarterbacks, the fact that both of these clubs won most of their games this season with backup quarterbacks. Bob Greasy being injured, Earl Morrall filling in for him, Sonny Jurgensen being injured, Billy Kilmer carrying the team for the balance of the season after that injury.
And Sonny Jurgensen, still injured, will be on the phones upstairs for the Washington Redskins today. The Dolphins are lined up on the 40 for the national anthem. Now the Redskins kickoff Special Green dashes out to line up down near its end of the field on about the 35-yard line. And in just a moment, Captain Eugene Cernan, Commander Ronald Evans, and Dr. Harrison H. Smith will lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance, and then we will hear with the University of Michigan Band, the Little Angels, and our national anthem. So let's go down to the field. Under the direction of Sister Lorraine.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. For Spaceship America back to Earth, our astronauts bid farewell to the moon. Not the end of space exploration, but the beginning of man's coming together. We invite you to join the Apollo 17 crew in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now, to honor America, let's join the little angels in the singing of our national anthem.
It has been months since the first preseason games way back in August. Throughout the regular season of 14 games, the playoff games, the conference championships, and now Cairo. The talking is over. The reporting begins. The 7th Super Bowl is about to begin as Kurt Knight, number 5, tees it up for the Washington Redskins, who will be going from our right to left. Mercury Morris, number 22, Charlie Lee, number 23, go deep for the Dolphins. Morris on the near side. They'll try to get the football to him. Charlie Lee, who also has great speed, on the far side, number 23. And Super Bowl 7, before 90,182 here, 75 million on television, and another 75 on radio, is about to begin as the crowd under sunny skies comes to its feet as Knight approaches the football and kicks off. A short kick. Mercury Morris at the 7, drops the ball, picks it up at the 10, across the 20, and gets out near the 24-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. The temperature on the field as we begin this ball game is 86 degrees. John Jaco, one of the members of George Allen's specialty teams, made the stop at the 24-yard line. 1st and 10. Wayne Moore is starting at left tackle over Doug Poussin for the Dolphins. So the front line is Warfield, Moore, Kuchenberg, Langer, Little, Evans, and Fleming. Greasy, Zonka, and Footy are in the backfield, and Jim Kick is starting over Mercury Morris. 20 wide to the right, Warfield wide to the left. First play goes to Kick, going off his own left side. He gets to the 24 after the 26-yard line, where he's stacked up there. Manny Sistrunk, number 64, strong against the run, and Ron McDowell and Berlin Biggs pinched in to make the stop. It'll be 2nd down and 8. As Kick goes out, and the man that the Dolphins have with the outside threat, Mercury Morris, comes in, number 22. 20 comes out wide to the right. Morris this time sets up on to the left of Zonka. Kick had been set to the right. Warfield out to the left, not nearly as far as he was flanked earlier. Greasy calling signals. to Zonka. Zonka maybe got a yard or two out to the 28-yard line. Tracking on of his own left side, and Kyle wrote they are running at Berlin Big.
Well, I really anticipated that, because if you don't run at Biggs, he'll really kill you. If you give him any room to operate, any room to chase the play, he is so quick for a big man. He can do it. So they want to go right at him, try and nullify that ability of his to roam around and do damage to you that way. They'd rather go right at him and have him chase the play. Also, interestingly enough, they're going with the counter plays, too, not going to Morris as he was in the backfield that time.
Redskins have 5 defensive backs. They've got 2 tight ends, the Dolphins have, and both Twilly and Warfield to the right side. Greasy back for his first pass. Throws to Zonka coming out of the backfield, and down he goes. A loss on the play. Tackled by Jack Pardee, the left side linebacker at the 27-yard line. The Dolphins fail to pick up the first down and will have to kick the ball away. There's timeout. Hold it. The time is not out yet, as going deep is Alvin Heyman. Larry Seipel steps back to do the punting. Ted Vactor goes back with Heyman, and this is the first time this year we have seen a double safety on punts for the Washington Redskins. Not an up man, not a deep man. They're back side by side, standing inside their 35-yard line. Seipel is at his own 12. He's been averaging less than 40. Mix up at the line of scrimmage. Redskins have the football, and the flag goes down on the 27. With the football. There's a flag down, and we'll wait to see Tommy Bell. And they're having their first decision here.
We have a penalty flag.
Penalty flag is down. Tommy Bell comes out. A legal procedure charged against the Redskins. It will not give them a first down. It'll be 4th down and still short yardage to go.
Looked like they jumped over. I don't know who the man on defense was for Washington. Hit right on Howard Kindig, the center who comes in and centers for the Dolphins.
Greasy came back in. I feel that Greasy and his teammates figured that they had a first down, but it is not defensive holding, not an automatic first down at all. It is only 5 yards, and remember, there was a loss on the last play. That put them back. And so it is now 4th down and 2 with the ball at the 32-yard line. So Seipel is back in. And again, Vactor and Heyman go deep. No score, 12:28 to go, first quarter. Vactor and Heyman will be looking into the sun. And Seipel kicks them high. Seipel gets the ball away. Line drives this one, however. Heyman goes back, has it at the 18. Back across the 20. Great coverage there, and he's knocked down at the 25-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 from there. The Redskins come out on offense for the first time.
Both of these clubs have outstanding kicking units and kick coverage units. Throughout the season, this has been a strength of both clubs, both outstanding in getting down, covering kicks.
High formation, Larry Brown the back man, Kilmer calling signals, Jefferson to the right, Taylor to the left. The lineups in a moment. First down from the 25 for the Redskins. Larry Brown has the ball for the first time, and Brown tracks out to the 28-yard line, where it'll be 2nd down and 7. Billy Kilmer, 17. Larry Brown, 43. Charlie Haraway, 31. Wide receivers, Roy Jefferson, 80. Charlie Taylor, 42. Tight end is Jerry Smith, 87. Walter Rock is at right tackle. John Wilbur at right guard. Len Hawes at center. Paul Laubig is the left guard. Terry Hermeling is starting at left tackle today, number 75. Jefferson comes out to the left. Taylor to the right. 2nd down and 7 to go from the 28-yard line. High formation once again. This time it again goes to Larry Brown as he tries to cut back the other way and gets perhaps to the 29 or 30-yard line. A gain of 2 as he stacked up in the middle. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Vern Den Herter, 83. Manny Fernandez, 75. Bob Hines, 72. Bill Stanfill, 84. The front 4 for Miami. Doug Swift, 59. Nick Bonacani, 85. Mike Colon, 57, the linebackers. Lloyd Mumford starting in replace of the injured, as a replacement for the injured Tim Foley at one cornerback. Curtis Johnson, 45 at the other. Dick Anderson, 40. Jake Scott, 13. The safeties, as we have for the Redskins, an obvious passing situation on 3rd and 5. But they've been known to go to Larry Brown still again with long yardage to go. No score, 10:45 to go, 3rd and 5. Gilmer goes back, fakes one way, throws to Larry Brown across the other way. It's across the 30-yard line. He's got the first down as he rolls across the 25-yard line. Little swing pass to the right. Kilmer looks to his left first, and then threw to Brown, who is delayed and gone out to his right, and sweeps to the 37-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Washington.
Exactly as you call it, too, Jim. Kilmer, wanting to try to influence the Miami linebackers, made the little fake off to the left to Charlie Haraway, his up back in the I formation. At the same time, Larry Brown was sifting off to the right flat. He made the fake out to Haraway, the linebackers. Some of them went with the fake. Then he fired it out to Brown.
Mac Alston in at tight end, number 81 on the left side for the Redskins. Again in the I formation. They've been in that all afternoon. This is just their 5th play from scrimmage. And there again is Larry Brown, and Brown picks up yardage, 5 yards across the 42, squirming straight over the right side of his own line. Larry Brown, who gained 1,216 yards despite the fact that he did not play the last 2 games of the regular season. And by not playing, he lost the National Football League rushing title to O.J. Simpson.
And both of these clubs, as we've seen, Jim, in their initial series, trying to establish that ground game. Both depend upon it very much. Both similar type ball clubs, and they are possession type, controlling the ball.
First time they've got the back split in the backfield. Taylor to the left, Jefferson to the right on 2nd down 5 from the 42 of Washington. You have no score in the first quarter. Here is Charlie Haraway carrying for the first time, and he is rolled down by Manny Fernandez, number 75, the fine left defensive tackle who pursued along the line of scrimmage and threw him for a loss back to the 40-yard line, a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 3rd down and about 7 to go from the 40-yard line. Very hot on the Coliseum floor. At game time 86, that'll get tougher as the afternoon goes. The day, as it began here in Los Angeles, crystal clear. Now the smog is settled in over the city. Jefferson right, Taylor left. Again, the split backs. Alston has gone out. Smith is in on the right side as the tight end. Kilmer back to throw. Looking and overthrows his man. A diving Larry Brown at the 47-yard line. And now the Redskins will have to punt the ball away, and Mike Bragg comes on to kick as Jake Scott goes back in single safety.
Great pressure put on Kilmer that time by Bill Stanfill, the 4-year veteran from Georgia, coming in from his right defensive end position. Stanfill, second leading pass rusher or quarterback sacker for the Dolphins. He got 9.5 sacks to Vernon Herter's 10.5. Both outstanding pass rushers.
Bragg standing on the 25. Scott is inside his own 20-yard line. Redskins have managed 1 first down. The Dolphins none. There's no score. 8.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Bragg gets a very high, very short kickoff. Scott races up to the 32 and takes it on the fair catch. That'll be 1st and 10 from there. 1st and 10 for the Dolphins as they get good field position at their own 32-yard line on the very short punt. And now in Los Angeles, they've called timeout, so there is timeout with the score. Miami nothing and Washington nothing.
You know those weird sounds you sometimes hear from your car's engine? Little knocks, strange tick-tick-ticks? Know what they could be? The sounds of silence, because you didn't speak up. You didn't ask for Pennzoil when you drove in for oil. Instead, you bought whatever motor oil happened to be handy. Well, how about what your car is asking for? Pennzoil, the oil of oils, refined from pure Pennsylvania-grade crude oil. Pennzoil, complete with its own money-saving additive, Z7. Get into the habit of saying Pennzoil, please. That should keep your car quiet.
If your car could talk, a laugh, if your car could sing, a ling-a-ling, and if your car could shout, aloud, it would plead, Papa, Pennzoil, please.
With Carter out, this is Jim Simpson back in California. Well, Larry Seifel, who is not known for kicking the long punt, boomed one for 50 yards, and Mike Bragg, who has got a slightly better punting average, kicked his for only 28 yards. Let's pause now, 10 seconds for station identification.
This is KNBR San Francisco. Listen to Frank Dill tomorrow morning between 6 and 10 a.m.
Dolphins ball, 1st and 10 on their own 32. Patios is now the middle linebacker for the Redskins. Kick and Zonka in the split backfield. Warfield left, Willie right. Bob Greasy calling signals. Greasy hands off to the first man, Zonka. who just slides through the tackle of Darren Talbert and Ron McDowell and scoots out to the 39-yard line. And that's the first big gainer for the Miami Dolphins this afternoon. It'll be 2nd down and 3 as Zonka picks up 7.
And looking at their defensive secondary, Jim, we're seeing that single coverage on everybody but Paul Warfield. They're double covering Paul. Mike Bass, the cornerback, and Roosevelt Taylor, the free safety, both over covering Paul.
2nd down, I formation this time. The up man is Zonka, kick behind him. Greasy calling signals, and out of the I he's going to throw, throwing out to the left. Warfield is out there, and Mike Bass is right with him, but the Miami Dolphins come up with the first down across the 45 out to the 46-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Dolphins as they pick up their first down. Down and out went Warfield toward the sidelines. Bass with him. Mike Bass almost overran Warfield to try to twist and get around him, but Bass threw him down at the 46. It'll be 1st and 10. Mercury Morris now comes in. He is the man that gives the Miami Dolphins their added dimension this year because Mercury can fly. He can give you the outside running game that Zonka and Kick are not noted for. 20 right. Warfield left out of the I. Now Zonka sets as a flanker to the right. No score. Quick pitch back to Mercury Morris. Flag goes down. Morris trying to get out of the outside, and he is knifed inside and actually loses back to the 45-yard line, and holding is going to be charged against the Miami Dolphins. And that'll be 15 yards from the line of scrimmage. Trying to get Mercury Morris loose around the right side. The Dolphins were not only guilty of holding, which will cost them 15, but the Redskins' pursuit threw Morris out of bounds at the 45 for a yard loss.
And I think the man that got caught holding was Mar Fleming, the tight end.
Tommy Bell now giving the options to Jack Pardee, pointing it out to the crowd what it is, and instead of the yard loss, of course, you're going to take the big 15 yards and make it 1st down and 25 as the ball is put back inside the nose of it right on the 30-yard line. 7 minutes, 5 seconds to go in the first quarter in a game that thus far is a standoff. Each team trying its running game. Each team has thrown some passes, but they have been the very short passes out to the side. Nobody has gone over the middle with the football yet. They've either been little flare passes in the backfield or down and out toward the sideline. Nobody's gone for the big one. Bob Kuchenberg has been named as the man. He's the left guard, guilty of holding on that play. Twilley to the right, Warfield to the left. Split backs in the backfield for the Dolphins. Zonka and Morris. 1st and 25 from the 30-yard line. Greasy calling signals. Greasy going back to pass on 1st down, has time, now running out of time, and there he goes. Golden Big knocks him down at the 17-yard line. Tremendous coverage by the Redskins in the secondary. Greasy had time, but nobody to throw to. And Verlin Biggs came in to knock him at the 17. They've spotted the ball at the 18, and it'll be 2nd down, and they have got to get to the 43-yard line of the Redskins for their 1st down. They're on their own 18.
Now, when you get good secondary coverage like that we just saw the Redskins give, it certainly puts a lot of pressure on those offensive linemen. They're going to have to hold out that defensive line a lot longer. Greasy's going to have to go to alternate receivers a lot quicker.
Manny Sistrunk has come out as a defensive tackle for the Redskins. Bill Brundage, the better pass rusher, is in on 2nd down and 38 yards to go. Mercury Morris trying to sweep the left side and is tripped up over there by the right cornerback Mike Bass at the 19-yard line and falls across the 20-yard line out to the 21. So that is a gain of 3, and it'll be 3rd down and 35 yards to go.
Bass really did a super job. He eluded a block by Bob Kuchenberg, who was pulling out from his left guard position, and he just dove under him just enough to trip Morris up.
Hal McClinton, been in at middle linebacker, comes out. Ted Vactor goes in. This is what George Allen calls his nickel defense. Why nickel? Because there are 5 defensive backs in there. He'll put it in on 3rd and long yardage, and this is 3rd and 35 to go. Warfield to the left, Twilley flanked far to the right. Morris and Zonka there. It is given to Morris straight up the middle, and he gets across the 25 to the 26-yard line. Far, far shy of the needed distance, and so now Larry Seipel, who the last time around punted it for 50 yards, comes in to do the punting again. We might point out that Seipel turned around the American Football Conference Championship when, as he set up for a punt and everybody fled downfield, he ran about 37 yards for a 1st down. But that was while he was about at midfield. In this particular case, he is standing back on his own 11-yard line, and Vactor and Heyman have gone deep, standing on their own 32-yard line. No score, 5:15 to go. First quarter, Super Bowl VII from Los Angeles. Seipel awaits the snap of the punt, gets a high pass, has time, gets the ball away. This is very short. It is Vactor calling for a fair catch at the 41-yard line. And it'll be the Redskins ball, 1st and 10 from the 41. 5:05 to go. And there's still no score. And there's timeout, Washington and Miami scoreless.
Yeah, it only happens once a year a car gets made like this one here. Talking about Plymouth Gold Duster. Got room for 5 and vinyl seats and a nice deep carpet to tend to your piece. Door to door, that is. Got wheel covers, white wall, special trim, and a trunk that's hard to fill to the brim. I mean, big. With a vinyl roof that's right in style, it looks like it come off a gold reptile. You can get that when you buy the rest. No extra charge. Yeah, it only happens once a year. A car that's made like this one here. Plymouth Gold Duster. It's a lot of car for the money. Gold Duster. It's a gold sticker value. Now at your Chrysler Plymouth dealers.
This ball game thus far has been almost played between the 30-yard stripes. We have no score. Nobody's had any real threat. And the biggest play of the game was a defensive play when Bob Greasy was thrown for a long loss. Redskins have the ball on their own 40. Jefferson to the left. Charlie Taylor to the right. Split backs. Bill Kilmer calling signals. 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Kilmer hands the ball to Charlie Haraway, who steps away from one man and then is hit quickly by Doug Swift, the linebacker, and gets out to the 42-yard line. A gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
You know, Jim, both clubs playing such well-coordinated defensive efforts out there. It looks like the first thing that's going to happen is going to be individual matchups that might determine the first break. Just as you pointed out a moment ago, Verlin Biggs beating his man into trap Bob Greasy. You'll find a wingback working on a cornerback, a wide receiver, tight end working on the safety.
High formation, quick count, pitch back to Larry Brown. Brown slips and gets out to the 44-yard line as a flag goes down. Brown tried to come the own left side and now holding his charge against the Redskins, and that will cost them 15 yards. Second big holding penalty, one against the Dolphins and now one against the Redskins. The Dolphins' holding penalty came when they tried to get their speedster, Mercury Morris, outside, and now the Redskins trying to get Larry Brown outside have drawn a 15-yard penalty.
And every now and then you see Larry Brown laying on the ground an inordinately long time. You sometimes feel that he's injured, but he said he has a little philosophy about that. He sort of picked it up from the great Jim Brown. Lay down there as long as you can, get your rest as long as you can, and then when you get that ball, you just sort of get excited all over again.
A 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage takes the ball back to the 28-yard line. It is still 2nd down, and now it is 2nd and 23 to go. Make it 2nd and 22. They have to get the ball just across midfield for the first down.
That holding penalty on Terry Hermeling, the left tackle for the Redskins.
Split backs in the backfield. Jefferson wide right, Taylor to the left. Kilmer calling signals from his own 28-yard line in the scoreless ball game. Well, he may be checking a long count at the line of scrimmage. Hands now to Larry Brown, and he is not going anywhere. Just barely did get back to the line of scrimmage. Manny Fernandez was right there to meet him, along with Bill Stanfield.
And the Dolphins using a 3-man rush on that. They brought in a 4th linebacker.
That's what they call their 53 defense. And the 53 is Bob Matheson, one of the best trades Don Shula figures that he has made, coming over from the Cleveland Browns. Matheson has played in the line for them at all 3 linebacker spots and will drop out for pass coverage. When he's in there, they call it the 53 defense with only 3 men rushing. Now it is 3rd down and about 20 to go. Jefferson to the right, Taylor to the left. The backs are split a good distance in the backfield. And Kilmer drops straight back to throw. Kilmer has time, throws to Larry Brown, gets a nice block. Across the 25, across the 30, and he's not going to go much farther than that as he took the pass in the backfield and had to run 6 or 7 yards to get 1-yard gain out to the 31. Bob Matheson and Mike Colon, the linebackers, made the stop. Now, again, defense takes over, and Kyle, now I know why you and I started this program, this report, talking about 10 minutes about defense before we got to the offense.
Well, it certainly proved that way thus far. And you just keep feeling that some break is going to happen. And the break that happens, the team that makes the few miscues, the drop punt, the bad judgment, will determine it.
Mike Bragg only had a 28-yard punt last time, standing back now in his 16. Jake Scott's the safety man inside his own 30-yard line. Bragg gets this kick away, and again, it is not a long kick. Scott comes up, no fair catch. He's lost the football. They're diving for it at the 37-yard line. It belongs to the Dolphins. Scott came up with a man right on him, did not call for the fair catch, lost the football. Everybody went for it, and it looked like Dick Anderson, number 40, jumped on that, and they have called timeout. So we'll call timeout too. Timeout at the Coliseum in Los Angeles, with the score still Washington and Miami, 0-0.
Give your hand to a friend, give your heart to your love, but give your code to contact, give your code to contact.
What sneezes a lot, has a runny nose, big red eyes, and is getting all stuffed up with congestion. Give up? It's you. You've got a cold coming on. But don't give up. Give your cold to Contact early. The 600 tiny time pills in each capsule can help relieve your sneezing, runny nose, your congestion up to 12 hours. And Contact is not limited to nighttime colds. So we can help you feel better today, rest better tonight, and feel better tomorrow. Take Contact early. That's early cold care. Give your cold to Contact.
Give your hand to a friend, give your heart to your love, but give your cold to Contact, give your cold to Contact.
Number one in the whole world.
Back in Los Angeles, Jim Simpson with Kyle wrote, before play begins here, here's a program note for you sports fans, particularly golf fans. Be sure to listen to our PGA progress reports from all of the PGA golf tournaments every weekend on Monitor. Now, next week, as NBC Television moves into Tucson for the Dean Martin Open from Tucson, so will Monitor and our PGA progress reports. Those are heard all year long here on NBC. First down for the Dolphins from their own 37. That could have been the big break, but the Dolphins recovered the Scott fumble. Handoff to Kick, starts off his own left side, gets out to the 39-yard line, and that is about all. Chris Handberger, the weak side linebacker, number 55. Darren Talbert, number 72, also in there, and Myron Patios came up in the middle. Patios and McClinton are varying in the middle, and Brundage and Sistrunk are taking turns at left tackle, depending upon the situations. Normally, if they expect them to run, Sistrunk and Patios will be in there. If it's a pass, Brundage and McClinton. No score from a 39-yard line. Come the Dolphins, second down and about 7. 2:22 to go, first quarter. Split backs in the backfield. Warfield is to the left. Twilley is to the right. Greasy hands the ball to Kick, trying to come around the right side, has some running room, and is finally knifed down. He may have the first down as he gets across the 45-yard line. Handberger and Pardee came out to make the stop, and Verlin Biggs came all the way across from his right defensive end spot to make the tackle at the other end of the line of scrimmage. That's a first down for the Miami Dolphins. 1:54 to go. If you have just joined us, there has been no serious threat by either squad. There have been no long gainers. There's only been one big play, and that was a defensive sack of quarterback Bob Greasy by Verlin Biggs. Other than that, it's even Steven. Dolphins trying to get something going now from their own 47-yard line. I formation this time. Greasy back to throw. The Warfield is by himself down the left sideline. Boy, he ran right by Mike Bass. The weak side safety, Brig Owens, had to come over. And Mike Bass was just all by himself, and Warfield ran right by him as he's thrown out of bounds at the 34-yard line.
And, Jim, that's really about the only spot that you can complete that pass against the type of zone the Redskins were going into. Mike Bass was going to be the short man. Owens was going to be the deep man. And there is a spot right between them, and if the ball is thrown right on the button, you can do it, and that's what happened.
Third Miami first down. Warfield again goes to the left. Twilley is flanked to the right. Split backs in the backfield. First down from a 34. Larry Zonka is hit hard by Darren Talbert and Ron McDowell. McDowell, the initial tacklers, they get down to the 31-yard line where they'll spot it there. Let's call it a gain of about 2.5 and call it 2nd and 8. 1:14 to go. This is the deepest drive by either team. The Dolphins have just come up with their third first down. Redskins deployed defensively. Dolphins out of the huddle, sending Warfield again to the left, Twilley to the right. They're in the I formation this time. Now they shift out of it with Zonko flanking to the left. Kick, the only man on the backfield, as a setback. Greasy with a long call, hands the ball to Kick, and Kick slides through for a couple of yards down to the 28-yard line. It'll be third down and about 5 from there. Ron McDowell again in on the stop. Kick kind of fell down, and Ron McDowell made sure he was down.
That's what you really like about a runner that runs like Jim Kick does. He just seems to knife through, has this great balance, great ability to swerve just a little bit at the last moment, get the every yard possible to get. Very smart runner.
3rd down and 5. On occasions when the Dolphins have needed a first down on 3rd down, they have not made it in 3 previous attempts. Yepremian along the sideline in case he's called on. 3rd down and 5. The Dolphins want the first down, of course. Split backs in the backfield. Greasy back. Greasy looking to throw. Greasy throwing for 20s at the 5, and 20 goes in for the score. Greasy had all the time in the world, and 20 just got between the Redskin defenders. A play of 28 yards, touchdown Miami.
You know, Jim, Howard Twilley, not known for his speed at all, just turned Pat Fisher, who is one of the best defensive backs in the business, turned him right around, gave him a deep inside move toward the goalpost, then back out toward the corner, and he had Fisher turned completely around, the ball right on target. Howard Twilley, just amazing. Great hands, not much speed, all the moves in the world. Very smart, very cagey type of runner. Just
1
had
second
Fisher
to
turned
go.
around.
1 second to go. 4 for 4 Greasy in that drive. 28 yards. Yepremian is in. Morrill to hold at the 10-yard line. Yepremian's extra point is perfect. And with a second to go here in the first quarter, it is Miami that has scored first. Well, again, as we can go back to the weeks of preparation for this game, so many things have been said. Even the people that you talk to, the same people, have changed their minds. George Allen, coach of the Redskins, getting on the plane in Washington, said it'll take 24 points to win the game. George Allen got off the plane in Los Angeles and said it'll be a very low-scoring ball game. We shall see. It is the Miami Dolphins who have drawn first blood on a picture play, as Twilley, as Kyle pointed out, turned Pat Fisher right around.
It'll be interesting, too, now, Jim, to see what happens to the Redskins. The Dolphins, with Super Bowl experience and big pressure game experience, where if they were trailing, it might be different. They would, I think, have the poise to hold up. We will see if the Redskins do.
Herb Mulkey has gone in. He is the middleman of the 3-man setup to return the kicks. Bob Brunet and Alvin Heyman are the other ones. And Yepremian will kick off with 1 second to go in the quarter. Mulkey is very fast, no college experience. They kick the ball very short. It'll be picked up by Heyman, who is very dangerous at the 15, across the 20, across the 25, and slides out across the 30-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line right there. Time on the scoreboard clock has run out. So that's the end of the first quarter. And with a second to go, Miami did it. So we say that's the end of the first quarter with a score of Miami 7 and Washington nothing.
Conventions. Oh, must be 40 acres of cars parked out here. A7, B8. Where did I leave that car? Is it? Yeah. Feels like 20 degrees in here. Warm up car. Oh, come on.
If your new car stalls when it's cold, try Shell's low-lead Super Regular.
Easy now.
Super Regular has more octane than the average or ordinary regular, and it's designed to help prevent stallouts.
I can see the headlines now. Airport workers find frostbite victim.
Try Shell Super Regular. You may never settle for ordinary regular again. Shell products perform.
Jim Simpson with Kyle Road back in Los Angeles, where the smog has really begun to settle in over the stadium here in Los Angeles. It was crystal clear at the game's beginning, and now it is getting smoky here in the stadium. Well, Don Shula of the Dolphins says if we're within 10 points in the fourth quarter, I figure we're in the ball game with a great chance to win. The Washington Redskins, history shows that over the year they have had to come back, not only come back, but come back in the second half or even the fourth quarter. So it is not unusual for the Redskins or the Dolphins to be behind, but it sure is nice to be out in front. And that's where the Dolphins are right now. And, Kyle, we note that they have not yet tested Lloyd Mumford, the one man filling in at left corner for Tim Foley.
No, they haven't, and this is something that we expected them really to do early. Go at Mumford. Mumford, as Jim pointed out, filling in for the injured Tim Foley. However, he is a good experienced man, 4 years in the league.
Billy Kilmer brings him out. He's 1 for 3 for 7 yards from a 31-yard line. Greasy's 4 for 4. Hands this off to Larry Brown. Larry Brown runs right into Den Herter. Nobody took out that left defensive end. Not blocked at all. Den Herter played his position perfectly and threw Larry Brown. He may have gotten a half a yard. Let's call it second down and still 10. From the Redskins bench, we get information that Ted Vactor is a punt return man. He is also a man that is the fifth man in the nickel defense, has injured his left knee. Whether or not he'll be able to come back, we don't know. 14:32 to go in the first half of the Super Bowl number 7. It is 7-0 Miami. I formation, Jefferson wide left, Taylor is to the right. Haraway and Brown of the setbacks behind Bill Kilmer is calling signals on second down and 9. Gives to Haraway. Haraway may have gotten a yard trying his own left side. The Redskins offensive line is not moving at all. That defensive front four of the Miami Dolphins. That time Hines along with Fernandez made the stop. It'll still be third down and, Kyle, about 8.5 or 9 yet.
And this shows great confidence by the Redskins in their own attack. There is a tendency, of course, when you go behind 7-0 to start opening up a little quicker than perhaps you normally would. Gilmer staying with what he knows best, what he thinks can go. He's going to make this ground game go.
Hines is out at tackle, and Bob Matheson comes in on the 53 defense on third down and a long 8 to go. Split backs now. Taylor left, Jefferson right. Kilmer is 1 for 3 back to throw. Has some time, throws across the middle, and it is almost, or is it intercepted by Jake Scott? It is. He fell down, gets up with the ball, knocked down again. Tended downfield for Charlie Taylor, overthrown. Scott leaped high in the air, got a hand on it, went down with it. The ball landed on his stomach. Nobody had touched him. He scrambled up and ran back to the 49-yard line. And there's the first real turnover of the game. For the Dolphins with the ball on their own 40, let's mark it at the 47-yard line of the Washington Redskins. Larry Brown walks slowly off the field, now begins to trot. As the Dolphins huddle and come out of it, here's a chance for the Dolphins really to move out if they can. Twitty goes to the right, Warfield to the left, split backs in the backfield. Greasy, let's see what he'll do after the turnover on first down from the 47-yard line. Greasy fakes, hands, goes out to pass, throws, has his tight end Marv Fleming. Fleming is dragged down as he gets inside the 30-yard line by Myron Patios at the 27. And a flag is down back at the 44-yard line. Greasy rolled to the right, stayed there. The cornerback came up. He threw over him to the tight end Marv Fleming, but it looks like the penalty will be against the Dolphins as they are coming up back. Ineligible receiver downfield as Greasy rolled to the right. Could be, Kyle, that he was rolling out on a bootleg and decided not to, and everybody had released.
Well, actually, he had a deep pattern going over to Twilly deep. Marv Fleming coming across from the tight end spot. I believe it really was a pass play. However, in faking that bootleg, one of the pulling linemen got across the line of scrimmage, unknowingly, obviously, and thus the penalty. Called back a good gain.
Takes the ball back to now the 38-yard line of the Miami Dolphins. 12:59 to go. We are in the second quarter. Dolphins lead it by 7. And it'll be first down and 25. And Bob Kuchenberg, who was guilty earlier of holding on the play, is guilty this time of releasing and going across the line of scrimmage. Warfield to the left. Marlon Briscoe is now into the right. Briscoe's not only a fine receiver, but he can throw the ball. They'll have to watch out for that. He is flanked out to the right. Greasy with a split backfield. Hands off. And going is Mercury Morris across the middle and gets to about the 41-yard line. A pickup of 3. It'll be second down from there. And 22 yards to go.
And both of these teams, as you point out that Marlon Briscoe can throw the ball, both of these teams use the reverse. They haven't used it as yet. They use it to good advantage through the playoffs, throughout the entire season. Warfield on a reverse for Miami. And, of course, Charlie Taylor on reverse for the Redskins.
Split backs, Morris and Zonk in the backfield now on second down and 22 yards to go from the 41 of Miami. Greasy, long count at the line of scrimmage, now has the ball, hands to Larry Zonka. Zonka looking for running room and gets some. As Redskins in a prevent defense, not bunched up, everybody dropping back, and Zonka is able to move out across the 45-yard line to the 47-yard line. But it'll still be third down and about 15 to go. Chris Hanberger made the stop as Zonka goes across the field.
And you were talking about Ted Vactor being injured and not knowing to what extent. Apparently not bad. He's just checked in for Harold McClinton, the middle linebacker, so they have their 5 defensive backs in now.
3rd down and 5. Jim Kick and Mercury Morrison now in there. Zonka went out after that run. Greasy goes back to throw. Coming out of the backfield is Kick, and he's met head on as he hits midfield. Knocked down hard by Jack Pardee, the left side linebacker, and now the Dolphins will have to kick the football away. Larry Seipel comes on. Alvin Heyman goes deep to handle a punt return for the Redskins, who trailed 7-0. 11:05 to go, first half. Coliseum under smog now. Very warm day, and I would imagine rather uncomfortable down on the field. Vactor, as Kyle pointed out, is back in, and Heyman and Vactor are now in a double safety, standing at the 11 and 12-yard lines. Seipel gets the punt away from his own 40, drives it quickly. It is Alvin Heyman back, lets it go into the end zone. Almost caught the ball at the 6-yard line, then let it go into the end zone. It goes out. It'll be the Redskins' ball, 1st and 10 at their own 20. So with 11, or rather make it 10:40 to go in the first half, we pause from Los Angeles. There's timeout with the score, Miami 7 and Washington nothing.
Chrysler Plymouth. You know, they're famous for their engineering, constantly striving to build cars to run better and last longer than ever before. Like their big, plush 73 Chrysler New Yorker. And this has been going on for a long time. Did you know the original Chrysler introduced a revolutionary high-compression engine? And it was a Chrysler that adopted the idea of welding an automobile body and frame into a single solid unit of strength. And that was only the beginning. Now you get things like a standard electronic ignition system that's practically maintenance-free. You can even order an electronic digital clock if you want to. And there's an improved system of sound isolation for a new quiet ride and a reclining seat. That's what they're talking about when they say extra care in engineering.
Chrysler New Yorker. Extra care in engineering. It makes a difference.
Across the way, Harold Twilley is having his right calf worked on. I don't know whether he's pulled a muscle or suffered a cramp, but Twilley is lying there on the field with something cool to drink. Doesn't seem too bothered, but that is why Briscoe came in for the Dolphins. 1st and 10 for the Redskins. They trail 7-0, have the football at their own 20-yard line. Charlie Taylor trots out to the left. Roy Jefferson comes to the right. Caraway and Brown are split in the backfield. The Redskins have not mounted an offensive move at all today. Ball is handed to Larry Brown, coming the right side, and gets maybe out to the 22 or 23-yard line. Doug Swift is right there, Manny Fernandez, and Mike Colden. Colden came from the other side. As football defensive players read keys of what their opponents are doing, the man that they're charged with, so do the officials. You'll find that the referee, the umpire, the head linesman all follow keys just as the players do to cover their own zones. Jefferson to the left, Taylor to the right. This time it is a split backfield. Brown cheating a little bit to the right side as Kilmer now yelled something to either one of them on 2nd down and 8 to go. Kilmer drops straight back to throw, has time, gets it across the middle, and it is caught there by Charlie Taylor. Out to the 32-yard line, make it to 33. First down for the Redskins. And that's the first down first down they've had in some time. The first time they got the ball, they moved for a first down, and this is their second first down of the game. And Kilmer's second completed pass. He has been intercepted once. A 28-yard pass play from Bob Greasy to Harold Twilley is the only score of the game.
And Jake Scott, the Dolphins safety man, was on Brown at the point. He was covering him. Just came in a little late. The ball was perfectly thrown.
Taylor to the left, Jefferson to the right. Kilmer calling signals, rolling out hands to Larry Brown, and Brown staggers out to the 35-yard line. He was actually tripped as he hit the line of scrimmage and picked up 2.5 yards on the play. Let us call it 2nd down and 8 from the 35-yard line. Vern Den Herder made the stop there. What a career he has had. This is only his 2nd year. He's from Central Iowa College, and this is his 2nd Super Bowl.
And they really have choked off the running of Larry Brown thus far. Brown has carried the ball 8 times for a total of about 18 yards now.
Second down and 7, and the big Redskin contingent here starts yelling, go. Their team has been stalled. Miami's defense, number 1 in the American Football Conference, doing an excellent job. Kilmer calls signals. Kilmer's going back to throw. Looks, has time, and throws, and it is in and out of the hands of the intended receiver on the sideline. Lloyd Mumford, that's the first time they've tested him, was there to guard Charlie Taylor. Would have been enough for the first down at the 47, but went in and out of the hands of Charlie Taylor. That brings up a big third down situation again.
And you can hear the fans here yelling, go. Of course, a big contingent from Washington out here, but also 8 Ram players, former Ram players, are now with the Redskins. Darren Talbert, Jack Pardee, John Wilbur, George Berman, Alvin Heyman, Myron Patios, and a couple of fellows on there ready reserve, Richie Pettibone and Tommy Mason. So they're almost like playing before their old fans.
This is the 5th third down conversion attempt for the Redskins. They've made good on only one. Kilmer sends Jefferson left. Taylor right, split backfield. Goes back to the pass, but hands to Larry Brown instead, and nobody at all took Manny Fernandez out of the play as he throws him behind the line of scrimmage at the 34-yard line, and Mike Bragg will have to come on and punt again. The Miami defense has just looked excellent this afternoon. They lead 7-0, and they have shut off the Redskins with but 2 first downs, and we have got 8 minutes to go in the half. Back deep goes Jake Scott, who has an interception. He also tried to field a punt moments ago with a man right in front of him, fumbled it, but fortunately for the Dolphins recovered. Bragg stands back inside his own 20-yard line. Scott is back on his 20. Bragg with the ball under no rush, gets the ball off, spiraling towards Scott at the 28-yard line. Excellent coverage, steps around a couple of people, and finally knifed down by Haraway. Charlie Haraway makes the stop. Make that Mac Alston instead, beg your pardon, the tight end at the 31-yard line. There's timeout here in Los Angeles with the score with 7:35 to go in the first half. Miami 7, Washington nothing.
Now, I've been a traveling man most of my life, and I got me a little black book. And in it, well, I keep a mighty good number. It's 800-255-3050. Now, that's Travelodge's number, and that's all I need. I can be in the middle of Wyoming or the middle of Times Square. It doesn't matter. I just step in the nearest phone booth, reserve myself a good hot shower, nice clean room, and a big comfortable bed at any Travelodge in the world. You try it. Won't cost you a dime. Just tell information, say, hey, give me Travelodge's 800 number. And then just carry it around with you on your hip, like all us travelers do.
Whitcar wrote, this is Jim Simpson. The word on Howard Trilly, who is the only man to score in this ball game, catching the 28-yard pass from Greasy. A muscle spasm in his right leg, so of course he'll be ready a little bit later on. The Dolphins have the football on their own 32-yard line. They are out in front, 7-0 here in the first half. Marlon Briscoe is still in for Howard Twilley. Briscoe goes wide to the right. Warfield is to the left. I formation in the backfield. Greasy, who is 5 for 5 for 50 yards and a touchdown, calling signals. Greasy hands to the first man through Zonko, breaks a couple of tackles, gets across the 40-yard line, across the 45, and it'll be marked right at the 45-yard line. Zonka that time simply broke tackles, and the weak safety, Roosevelt Taylor, had to make the stop. And that's a gain from the 32 to the 45 of 13 yards. First and 10 for the Dolphins.
It's interesting, too, Jim, that the Redskins have been in a very tight 4-man line. They're still running inside even against that, which is supposed to designed to stop the inside running.
First down from the 45-yard line, the I formation. Quick pitch to Kick, trying to get outside. Has blockers in front of him, cuts back inside and picks up 6 or 7 yards. Gets into Redskin territory at the 48. As we pause 10 seconds for station identification.
This is KNPR San Francisco, where you can hear the Mike Clary Show tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
That was the 5th first down for the Dolphins, who lead in the ball game 7-0. And they're trying to get another first down now. They've got second down and about 3 to go. Mercury Morris has checked in. Kick has gone out. That's been going on all year. But now you've got Morris and Zonka. Each man gained more than 1,000 yards during the regular season. They're in I formation. The fake pitch back to Morris. Greasy back to throw. There's a flag down. Long pass downfield. Warfield at the 10. He scores. There's a flag down, so hold on. Flag down, remember we called. They're running back toward the Dolphins bench. Tommy Bell has been told what it is. Here he comes over to give us the preliminary signal. Stands here a legal procedure and motion charts against the Dolphins. And instead of a touchdown pass of 47 yards, it is called back.
Oh, yeah, that is a heartbreaker for Dolphin fans. Such a beautiful play. Warfield cutting from left to right. Just wide open. Greasy faking the draw to hold up any linebackers, keep them out of dropping too far.
So it'll be second down and about 8 to go. It was 2nd and 2 when Greasy faked to Zonka going through the line, then faked the pitch to Morris, and then threw long to Warfield. And as Kyle said, everybody was standing around except Warfield, and he went the full 47 yards only to have it called back. Marlon Briscoe charged with being in motion on the play. 2nd down and 8. Twilley has come back in. Apparently that muscle spasm in his leg is all right. He is out to the right. Warfield is out to the left. On 2nd down and 8, now there is a pitch to Mercury Morris trying to get outside. Pat Fisher plays him well, allows him to get to the 50-yard line, and that's all. As Fisher rolls him out of bounds at the 50-yard line after a gain of 2.5. It'll be 3rd down and a little bit more than 5 from midfield.
Howard Twilley, the split wide man to the right, coming back, making what they, I guess, has now become the infamous type of crackback block on Jack Pardee, bringing Mercury around the corner, at least letting him get up as far as he did.
The Redskins 11-3-0 in the regular season, have not allowed a touchdown to Green Bay or Dallas in the division playoff of the conference championship. They've given up 1 today to the Dolphins and nearly another, but for illegal motion that called it back. 3rd down, a little bit more than 5. Zonka is flank kick, Mercury Morris is the only setback in the backfield. Twilley to the right, Warfield to the left. Greasy back to throw. Has time. Now he doesn't. He goes down under Dyron Talbot, the best pass rusher the Redskins have, as Greasy sacked for the 2nd time today. Back at the 43-yard line. A loss on the play. It'll be 4th down and 12 to go. And Alvin Heyman and Ted Becker come out on the field, and it'll be Larry Seipel to punt the ball away. Seipel has been punting very well today. He's been averaging about 44.5 yards per punt. His first punt boomed for 50 yards.
There's always that danger of him running, as you recall in the Pittsburgh playoff game. I don't think he would risk it at this point in the game here.
5:50 to go. First half, Miami 7, Washington nothing. Seipel has the ball now, steps into it, punts it away. That is Alvin Heyman at the 15-yard line, and down he goes at the 16 or 17-yard line as the pursuit was just excellent downfield. Well, there is timeout here in Los Angeles with the score still. The Dolphins of Miami 7, the Redskins of Washington nothing. You probably have your own particular way of getting started on cold mornings this time of year, like staying in that hot shower a little longer than usual, having an extra hot cup of coffee at breakfast, or bundling up in a heavy coat before you go out. Now that's swell for you. But what about getting your car started on cold mornings this time of year? Well, hot coffee won't help, but here's something that will. Wynn's Friction Proofing. See, when you add a can of Wynn's Friction Proofing to your oil, it forms a chemical barrier on all the moving parts of your engine. It smooths and seals metal surfaces to reduce friction. And with friction reduced, your engine becomes easier to start. What's more, that chemical barrier protects metal surfaces, while your crankcase oil warms up enough to provide proper lubrication. Look for the purple can of Wynn's Friction Proofing at stores selling automotive supplies. It's really a great way to treat your car engine this time of year. Redskins ball on their own 17-yard line. They've only had a couple of first downs all day. They have never really seriously threatened or even been within field goal range of the tough Miami Dolphins, who are the first team in National Football League history to go through 14 straight games without a loss. Jefferson to the right, Taylor to the left. It's an I formation now behind Billy Kilmer, calling signals from his own 17. Passing on first down and out pattern to Jefferson, who has the ball, and out to the 24-yard line. Again from the 17 to the 24. It is 2nd down and 3 from there. Lloyd Mumford was worked on again there. That's the 2nd time. First it was Taylor. The ball was overthrown. This time it was Roy Jefferson, and Mumford knocked him out of bounds after the 7-yard gain.
And a very safe type of pass. I'm sure Kilmer a little gun shy right now, having gone up into the middle his only time and having it picked off by Jake Scott.
Jefferson this time goes to the other side, to the left, and Charlie Taylor to the right. Again, the I formation. Mac Austin's the tight end on the left side. Kilmer calling signals, gives it to the first man, Haraway. He's got his best run of the day across the left side. First down, out to the 32-yard line goes Charlie Haraway. Tackled out there by the free safety, Jake Scott, coming up from the secondary. That's the best run over the middle of the line that the Redskins have had. That Dolphin defense has been very tough through the middle. Matter of fact, it's been very tough, period. The ball spotted at the 33-yard line. It is first down, and 10 to go there for the Redskins.
It really has. The Dolphins have held the Redskins to just 27 yards on the ground, 26 yards in the air. They're almost 4 minutes left in the half.
Not an I formation this time. Split backs. Taylor left. Ball is handed to Charlie Taylor on the end around. He's across the 35-yard line, across the 40-yard line, bumped out of bounds. It is not a first down as he gets to the 41-yard line. Lloyd Mumford came up along with Dick Anderson and Nick Bonicani to knock him out of bounds. Taylor, like Warfield, will run the end around. Taylor used to be a running back when he first came in the National Football League. 4:16 to go, first half from Los Angeles. On a hot day for January 14th, the temperature in the middle 80s. Lots of smog in the area. Jefferson goes out to the left. It is second down and a couple of yards to go. Taylor to the right. This time it is the I formation. Austin, the tight end, is on the left side. Gilmer calls signals against a 5-man line. Gives it to the first man, Haraway. Haraway's got the first down out to the 45-yard line. And Kyle, this is what you've been saying all along. Despite the fact they're down, despite the fact they haven't been picking up first downs, they got another one there. The Redskins continue to stick right with their game plan.
Well, I think it's probably the smartest thing to do. They know what they can do. It just takes a little while to make some adjustments. I'm sure they're constantly in touch with their press box upstairs where we are, talking with their scouts, their coaching staff, assistant coaches, as to what Miami is doing to them. Adjust the block here, maybe just adjust one assignment so that they're not panicking.
That's their first down. It's first and 10 from the 45 of Washington. Trailing 7-0. I formation. Jefferson right, Taylor to the left. Again, the first man through, and Haraway does well to pick up a yard. Manny Fernandez was simply waiting for Charlie Haraway. It's a wonder Manny didn't grab the football, too. Haraway did well to pick up a half a yard on the play. Let's call it simply second down 10. He did gain a little bit, but not that much. Clock continues to run with 3:10 to go in the half. Austin comes out. Jerry Smith, who has played both flanker and tight end, has come in as the tight end. He has been the tight end all year long, but on one occasion in his career with the Redskins, he was called on to play as a flanker. Led the National Football League as a pass catcher one year for tight ends. Jefferson goes out to the left. Smith is on the left side. Taylor comes to the right. It is not an I formation. Brown and Haraway split in the backfield on second down and nearly 10 yards to go. Kilmer calling signals. Kilmer hands the ball to Brown going around the left side across the 50-yard line and bumped down there by Dick Anderson as he picks up perhaps 6 yards on the play. Anderson, the strong side safety, makes the stop at the 49-yard line, and the Redskins have moved into Miami territory with 2:23 to go.
Larry Brown, really a durable runner. He took a shot from Dick Anderson there. When Anderson popped him, Brown's helmet flew off. Larry Brown, what a durable guy, and what a tremendous career he's had. Pro Bowl selection every year he's been in the league. Unanimous this year.
Third down and nearly 4. The 53 defense for the Dolphins. The Redskins have nudged the ball over into the territory of the Miami Dolphins for the first time this afternoon. We'll repeat again. The whistle has blown, and the 2-minute warning is here. We'll repeat again the only score. The Miami Dolphins, with 1 second to go in the first quarter, scored on a 28-yard pass from Bob Greasy to Howard Twilley. Twilley had Pat Fisher turned completely around. It was on a 3rd down 5 situation. The Dolphins had moved 63 yards in 6 plays. 15 of those 63 yards came on a penalty against the Washington Redskins on defense that gave them a big jump in their drive, but nevertheless, Greasy has been just perfect this afternoon. Greasy is 5 for 5 for 56 yards, the touchdown. He has been sacked twice for 19 yards.
And I believe, Jim, this is the first time the Redskins have crossed midfield with the ball offensively. They're now on about the 48.5-yard line.
Well, when you talk about Super Bowl, you talk about super happenings. Not only is this a fine football game with the two best teams according to their records and how they got here in the National Football League, but at halftime, we have the University of Michigan Band and such entertainers as Sammy Davis Jr. and Andy Williams. We have already been entertained by the Michigan Band, and we've already met the three astronauts who have just come back in recent weeks from their last trip of the 20th century to the moon in an Apollo flight. So before these 90,182, before the 75 million watching on television and the like number listening on radio, this is a super production. Right now, the Redskins are hoping something super will happen to them. They're down 7-0.
And, you know, Jim, it's interesting how they both got into this game in their playoffs, completely different playoff experiences. The Redskins rolling over Green Bay and Dallas, limiting both clubs to no touchdowns at all, just field goals, while the Dolphins struggled through, had to come behind from both the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers to get here.
Taylor left, Jefferson right. They're not in the I formation. Browns on the left side, Haraway to the right. On third down and a long three, Kilmer goes back. It is intercepted as he throws. Buonacani makes the interception. Down the right sideline he goes, and he's dragged out of bounds as he gets to the 28-yard line. The second interception of the afternoon by the Miami Dolphins. And with Garo Yepremian there, you would feel that the Dolphins would go to the locker room with at least a 10-0 lead and perhaps a 14-0 lead. They've had a 47-yard touchdown pass called back. On that play, Swift was blitzing Kilmer. He released a little early and released it right into the middle of a pack of Dolphins, and Nick Buonacani is the man who came up with it. Twitty goes to the right, Warfield to the left. From the 28-yard line, 1st and 10 for Miami. They lead 7-0 in the closing moments of the first half. Greasy has a split backfield behind him. Bob is calling signals. Greasy hands off, and it is Kick who gets down inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. Tackled there by McDowell and Sistrunk. And it'll be second down from there, second and about 7.
And it's important now. The last time the Dolphins made the interception, Jake Scott's earlier interception, they were unable to capitalize on it. They now are already in field goal range. They should not walk off the field with less than a field goal attempt, whether they make it or not. See how Greasy operates with that possibility.
Second down, he sends Twitty again to the right. The dangerous Warfield to the left. Greasy calling signals, hands to Zonka. Zonka spins away from one tackler. That's McDowell, and gets down near the 22-yard line. Bounced right off McDowell, who was blocked very hard by Mar Fleming, the tight end. The put down was finally made by Manny Sistrunk as Zonka got to the 22-yard line. It'll be third down, and here is your big play. Third down and about 4.5 to go.
52 seconds. Clock running now, 49-48.
Third down. Do they get the chance to go on for the touchdown, or do they settle for the field goal? They'll take either if they can get them. They have both Twilly and Warfield to the right side. Fisher comes over to Jordan Bass. Greasy goes back to throw. Greasy looks and throws. Mandich is there and rolls out of bounds at the 2-yard line. Jim Mandich, the other tight end. It'll be first and goal to go. They put the wide receivers to the left. That took away both cornerbacks and put them on the left side. And Jack Pardee, the left side linebacker, had to cover Jim Mandich. And Mandich made a remarkable diving catch at the 2-yard line.
He really did. The clock shows 28 seconds left to play in the half.
19-yard play. First and goal to go for the Dolphins. And let us say the Dolphins have dominated this game throughout the entire first half. Split backfield, nobody flanked wide. Warfield is set as a flanker just outside the right side of the line of scrimmage. Kick trying to go wide. Kick fighting his way. Kick down to about the 1, still fighting, and held up there by Passel of Redskins, and quickly they called timeout with 21 seconds to go.
And the Dolphins had all 3 timeouts remaining to them, so now they have 2 left. 21 seconds to utilize those 2 timeouts.
Here are the Miami Dolphins, not only number 1 in total defense, but number 1 in total offense. Perfect record. 14 games without a loss. Then they defeated Cleveland and Pittsburgh to get to the Super Bowl. But they're number 1 in rushing, setting an all-time National Football League record, eclipsing that of the Lions back in 1936 of 2,960 yards. And for the first time in history, they have two men in the same backfield with 1,000 yards or more gained. And when you talk about that, any football player and a knowledgeable fan will tell you that offensive line has to be something, and it is really moving the Redskins' defensive line.
Jim, it's not surprising they went with Jim Kick. It's also not surprising that the Redskins might have been expecting it. As we saw in their playoff game against Cleveland, Kick was the bread and butter man for the winning touchdown. Against the Pittsburgh Steelers, Jim Kick scored their last two touchdowns.
Marv Fleming is joined by another tight end, Jim Mandich, who just made that remarkable 19-yard catch. Against Minnesota earlier in the year, Mandich made the winning touchdown catch. It was a pass of only 3 yards. So Bob Greasy, remarkable quarterback, hurt in the 5th game, did not really come back. He played a few series in the Baltimore game, the last game of the series. Did not really come back until the second half of the Pittsburgh Conference Championship. Greasy is something else again to watch. So will he run kick again? Zonka, will he bootleg it out? Will he throw to his tight end? He comes out with the back split. Same formation as before. Warfield just slightly as a flanker outside the right side of his offensive line. Kick and Zonka the setbacks. It goes to Kick again, and Kick gets near the goal line. Touchdown! Well, the Dolphins like to do things late, but they get them accomplished. They scored their first touchdown with 1 second to go in the first quarter. They score their second with 18 seconds to go in the first half. And the Redskins fans and the Redskins themselves know that they've got to turn this completely around in the second half, or this is Miami big.
And what a great job that Miami offensive line is doing. Also, Larry Zonka pulling in there ahead of Kick, doing some great blocking.
The Dolphins, who did not score a touchdown in last year's Super Bowl, have 2 in the first half this year against the Redskins. Yepremian will kick. Morrill holding at the 10-yard line. The snap, the ball is put down. It is up, and it is perfect. 18 seconds to go. Miami's out in front, 14-0. Well, here was one of those big breaks on a blitz. Billy Kilmer released the ball a little early, a little high, a softly thrown pass, a sitting duck for Nick Bonaconti, who made the second Miami interception of the afternoon. Bob Greasy, on the other hand, has just been letter perfect. 6 for 6, 75 yards and a touchdown. The Redskins defense on occasion has been befuddled, on occasion has been very tough. The Miami defense has been tough. The Miami offense has been opportunistic and has been tough.
This has got to affect Billy Kilmer, too. Every time he has gone up the middle, with one exception, a little short pass to Larry Brown, he's been intercepted. He's got to be gun-shy about going into the middle for the second half.
Yepremian will kick off. Alman Heyman, Bob Brunet are on the sides, and Herb Mulkey is in the middle. They're keeping this one kicked along the ground, picked up by Heyman on the far side, and he's going to run out of bounds, and does so as he gets across the 30-yard line. It'll be marked at the 33-yard line, and with 14 seconds to go, the Redskins will take an opportunity to put some points on the board. That should bring in for Miami their famous 53 defense, a prevent defense, knowing that they've got to go 67 yards to get a score. And they've only got 14 seconds to go. Bob Matheson has come in. Well, we were talking about the smog, and not being a native of Los Angeles, believe it or not, the smog has lifted somewhat. It's clearing off here at the Coliseum in Los Angeles, where it's a very warm 86 degrees at game time down on the field. Jefferson to the right. Kilmer goes back to throw, looking to Haraway, coming out of the backfield, throws behind him. Haraway holds on to it and is knocked out of bounds. Across the way is knocked out of bounds by Mike Colon, the weak side linebacker. Lost a yard or two on the play, perhaps 3, but he stops the clock and now has 9 seconds remaining in the first half.
And that ball actually tipped by Bill Stanfill as he was rushing in. Changed the trajectory of the ball a little bit. Haraway making an excellent recovery on it to catch it.
The touchdown drives of Miami this afternoon, 63 yards in 6 plays. And then on the drive set up by Bonaconti, 27 yards in 5 plays. Charlie Babb has come in as another defensive back as Colon has gone out. The pitch goes to Larry Brown coming around the left side, and Brown picks up a couple of yards only. Clock is running, 3 seconds. They're going to let this run out, obviously, because there it is. That's the gun. That's the end of the first half, and it's belonged to the Miami Dolphins all the way. At the end of the first half, the Dolphins 14, the Redskins of Washington nothing.
You know, you hear a lot of talk about the beautiful wine country. Well, now it's possible for you to live there and enjoy clean, quiet country living at a price you can afford. Holiday Park, a division of Forham Corporation, has created a glorious adventure in family homes. Space and comfort combines with accessibility, conveniently near transportation, schools, and shopping. You'll love the special features of these 2, 3, and 4-bedroom, 2-bath homes. Full-size lots with great backyards for the kids, continuous clean ovens, dishwashers, double garages, plus the sexiest master bedroom in the West. And the price? As attractive as the homes, $19,950 to $25,350. Drive out today to Holiday Park in Cotati. Discover for yourself this enchanting way of life. It's easy to find. Take Sierra exit to East Cotati Avenue. Or from Santa Rosa South, take 116 exit to Cotati. Or phone 707-795-3662. It's now 5 minutes before 2 o'clock.
Second Super Bowl to be held here in the Coliseum of Los Angeles. The first one was the first ever played when Green Bay defeated Kansas City back in 1967. University of Michigan band is down on the field, and we're going to be joining throughout the halftime some of the ceremonies that will be taking place on the field. It is quite a halftime show. Also, we'll be talking to a few people, and also we'll be giving you the news of the day. But Kyle wrote, as we begin the halftime, I know that you have comments about the defense played by Miami, about Miami's offense, about what Washington may try to do, may have to do. But let me just get down the facts again. With 1 second to go in the first quarter, Miami moved, and the 1 second to go payoff pass was from Bob Greasy to Howard Twilley, who turned Pat Fisher completely around. 28 yards. Your Premium added the extra point, and it was 7-0. That was a drive on 6 plays of 63 yards, helped along by a 15-yard penalty against the Redskins. And then a 47-yard touchdown pass was called back, remember, because Marlon Briscoe, playing in a flanker spot only because Twilley was out with a muscle spasm in his leg, a 47-yard pass was called back, or else it would have been 21-0 here at halftime. Miami later got the ball on the second interception off Billy Kilmer. Each of the interceptions has been thrown nearly in the same spot, right over the middle, a softly thrown pass. This time, Kilmer's softly thrown, quickly released pass was forced by the blitzing Doug Swift. Nick Bonaconte, on the American Football Conference, they like to call him all-world. Bonaconte picked it off, ran 37 yards. Then there was a clutch catch by Jim Mandich at the 2-yard line, and finally Jim Kick carried in from 1 yard out with 18 seconds to go. So that was a 27-yard drive set up by Bonaconte's interception. It took 5 plays. Here we are at halftime. Could have been 21-0. It is 14-0. The game is still in hand. Washington, as we said, have had to come from behind, and not to alibi for Washington, but rather to express the kind of season that they have had. They went into halftime in their first game against Dallas, trailing something like 20-0. They came back out after the half and wound up winning the ball game 24-20. So the ball game is not Miami's in hand at all at this point. But looking at the first half, the edge, the scoreboard, everything that happened on the field, it all is a plus side for Miami. Kyle?
Well, let's go back to what I think everyone would agree was going to be the Redskins' strength, and that's their running game, particularly featuring Larry Brown. And looking at what has happened in the first half, the Dolphins have really choked off the Redskin running game. Brown, let me just check the statistics. He has carried the ball 11 times for just 26 yards. Of course, that's far subpar type of day for Larry Brown. This can be probably reflects the good play of the Miami Dolphin linebackers, particularly Bill Stanfield on the front line, Manny Fernandez, outstanding jobs, particularly on the front line. But those linebackers filling in that secondary effort, the secondary backup rush to make the tackle, filling in those holes, they've just done an outstanding job. They have also figured very prominently in the passing game, as you saw Nick Bonaconte picking off that pass a moment ago. Also, in their pass drops, because Miami does use this double outside zone defense, Billy Kilmer apparently just figured he was going to beat almost the unbeatable. Not many people can pass into that Miami double zone. Kilmer tried it. He got burned twice in the middle. He has stayed away, surprisingly, at least to us, away from his outside passers. He did not go at Lloyd Mumford as we thought he might earlier in the game. He threw a couple of short ones to Roy Jefferson in front of him, a couple of short ones to Charlie Taylor in front of him, but they've never gone on top deep to the outside. Whereas the Dolphins, when they have had the ball, Greasy pinpointing, going right into that zone, but with a much stronger arm than Billy Comer, was able to pinpoint in between the zone, get the deep pass off to the left side to Paul Warfield. Offensively also, Zonka has just been outstanding with his power running inside. Morris has always had the threat to the outside, hasn't really broken any long runs, but his very presence in that backfield makes the Redskins' defensive alignment respect the outside run. This is perhaps why Zonka is having as good a day as he is, getting the inside holes because of the threat of Morris to the outside. Howard Twilley, just a marvelous pass route against Pat Fisher. Going right at Fisher, cutting deep to the inside, taking Fisher in with him, then planting that left foot and cutting back toward the flag. Just really had Fisher turned around. This is his strength, though. He is not a deep threat, so Fisher really doesn't have to worry about him beating him, outrunning him, I should say. But what he does have to worry about is being out-faked by him.
Now, Kyle, I can't help but think of George Allen, who used to coach the Rams, going in before this huge crowd, many of whom are for him and for his Redskins. He is down 14-0 in the biggest game of his life, 14-0, but turn it around to the other side. Hello again from Los Angeles, California, the Coliseum. Jim Simpson with Kyle Rote. It's halftime here at the Super Bowl. We're going to have some of those activities for you later on. It's a long halftime, and there's still a half of football yet to go. With the score, Miami 14 and Washington 0, let us now switch to the NBC newsroom for 5 minutes of the latest news. NBC Monitor News, Gene DiCardo reporting on high-level discussions at the Florida White House involving critical Paris negotiations aimed at ending the Asian war. We learn more in this report from Peter Hackett.
Even as you and I, listening or watching the Super Bowl game, that's the main activity of the afternoon at Key Biscayne. But for President Nixon, Henry Kissinger, and his right-hand man, General Alexander Haig, it's only a short breather in a day of talks about where the Paris peace negotiations stand. The weekend talks began with a 1-hour chat in the wee hours of this morning, a 4-hour conference later in the morning, and they'll meet again this evening and again tomorrow. General Haig, who's made several trips to Saigon, leaves later today for another flight to bring President Thieu up to date on the Paris negotiations. Still not a word to reporters here on the content of the Paris talks, but it appears a major milestone may have been reached. No word either on when Kissinger will return to Paris. Naturally, Mr. Nixon would like to be able to announce the war's end before his inaugural a week from yesterday. Peter Hackett, NBC News, with the presidential party in Florida.
In a delayed release, U.S. officials report a North Vietnamese jet downed in a dogfight north of the 20th parallel Friday, the 184th MiG kill of the Asian War. Radio Hanoi claims another B-52 shot down below the 20th parallel. Our side says the giant bomber was only damaged and made it back to base. Radio Hanoi also claimed today that in spite of U.S. aerial pounding of supply lines, many thousands of military personnel are still moving to battle stations. And ground fighting has tapered in South Vietnam, but not before Red units captured a key position on the Mekong River, critical to the Cambodian capital, Phnom Penh. In Bonn, Germany, up to 20,000 West German demonstrators held a massive anti-war protest. There were clashes with police, but no serious injuries reported. Israeli Premier Meir is in Vatican City for a meeting with Pope Paul, first time the pontiff has met with an Israeli leader in 3 years. A report from Tehran says Iranian and Iraqi troops skirmished for several hours. It was a border hassle. Police feel local Arab guerrillas have opened a new terrorist letter bomb campaign in Israel. One such device today injured 3 persons. 2 more letter bombs were intercepted. Star USC Trojan tailback Anthony Davis recovers from surgery today for a lacerated Achilles tendon suffered in an auto accident Saturday. At a Los Angeles hospital, a spokesman says today AD should suffer no lasting complications.
He has a short leg cast on the left leg and a plaster splint on the right leg. He's expected to be in the hospital for 3 or 4 days. The cast will be on for 3 or 4 weeks, but the splint will come off in 3 to 4 days. All indications are that he will be able to play baseball by the end of February. There's no indication that his career will be hampered by this. The operation went as expected with no complications.
Davis, you may recall, broke a Rose Bowl record January 1 in yards gained from scrimmage. A reminder, we're at halftime now in the Super Bowl, and we'll go back there in a few minutes. In New North Ireland violence, a terrorist road mine killed a policeman today. Another was injured when their Jeep hit the device. Bombings accounted for another 24 injuries. The British are also investigating a rocket attack on troop billets. The Soviet-made missile missed the target, destroying a barn with no injuries. In Manila tomorrow, the first execution under Philippine martial law, which has been in effect for 3 months. President Marcos changed a life sentence for a convicted dope peddler to death by firing squad. The president's announced rationale that the guilty man was responsible, quote, for the ruination of so many innocent lives, including children of very tender age. A Washington report says even a 52% hike in Social Security checks, which is the rate of climb since 1969, has not kept more than 3 million of America's elderly from falling below the poverty line. Japan is dickering for American space officials to launch a Japanese-constructed communications satellite sometime in 1976. The U.S. has already set aside $6.5 million for the proposed venture. An attorney for 4 more Watergate defendants threatens to quit the case before he'll let them enter guilty pleas. With the trial set to resume Monday, there are still rumors they may follow Howard Hunt's lead and plead guilty. Another 2 men are reported committed to maintain their innocence. Philadelphia teachers give no sign they'll yield to a back-to-work court order. With airstrike moving tomorrow into its 2nd week, most schools are either closed or much understaffed, and the system could lose $1 million a day in daily state subsidies. 6 men are reported missing after fire swept a French container ship near the Azores. 16 crewmen were rescued when the vessel was abandoned. In Alaska, Democrats selected an Indian to run in a special congressional election in March. He is 38-year-old Emil Naughty. The hour's lead story, President Nixon, Henry Kissinger, and General Haig have been meeting at the Florida White House. The President and Kissinger will talk again, while Haig leaves within a few hours for South Vietnam. Gene DiCardo, NBC News. Now back to the Super Bowl in Los Angeles. Halftime in Los Angeles, Miami 14, Washington nothing. Some big names in the entertainment world coming up in a moment, and we'll be back with more halftime color in 1 minute.
Here's a weather forecast for the Bay Area. This is a brand new forecast. Cloudy with rain likely beginning late tonight and continuing through Monday night. Partial clearing Tuesday with a chance of showers. A little cooler Tuesday, low tonight and tomorrow night in the mid-40s to low 50s. High both days in the 50s. Light winds becoming southerly, 10 to 20 miles per hour tonight and 20 to 30 miles per hour tomorrow. San Francisco temperature downtown is 55. San Francisco International Airport 56. Oakland International Airport 55. San Jose Municipal Airport 57. At Hamilton Air Force Base, it's 54 degrees. For the Sierra Fair today, increasing cloudiness tonight and Monday, rain likely from about Yosemite northward by late tomorrow. Continued mild temperatures, snow level above 7,000 feet tomorrow, and windy in the north tomorrow. US 50 Echo Summit, Sacramento to Nevada State Line open. Icy spots, Twin Bridges to Nevada State Lines, Kerry Chains, weather is fair. Interstate 80 is open. Kerry Chains, variable high cloudiness.
Anytime you can hear the voice of Andy Williams, it's time to shut up and listen. Let's go down to the field and Andy Williams.
What do you say? Let's make a day of it. We don't need tomorrows with money. Long as we're together, they'll be sweeter than marmalade, faster than honey. Cinnamon and spice tea. Cinnamon and spice tea.
The theme at halftime here is Happiness Is. The University of Michigan band is formed in 4 hearts, and now Andy Williams is joined by the Happiness People Singers, the Citrus College Chorus, and the entire cast, and the finale is Happiness. Happiness is all people everywhere living in peace and harmony.
Are the luckiest people in the world. We're children feeding other children, and yet letting our grown-up pride hide all the need inside, acting more like children than children.
tremendous halftime. The University of Michigan band now spelling out love. Pigeons were released, and now thousands of different colored balloons float northward as they drift out of the Coliseum here in Los Angeles. Andy Williams, the entire cast, the University of Michigan band did a wonderful job here at halftime, where Miami leads by the score of 14-0. Neither team is back on the field, and before they come back, Kyle Rote has a special guest.
Thank you, Jim. And right now, I'd like to bring to our NBC microphones Mr. Mark Duncan, the National Football League Supervisor of Officials. And Mark, before we get into a few comments about officiating and what goes into officiating a Super Bowl game of this magnitude, general impression of the first half.
I thought it was a tremendously good defensive football game by both teams. Of course, it was unfortunate that the touchdown was called back. That's one of those things. But I'm surprised. I thought maybe it would be the other way around the first half. But the younger team is the one that's in charge right now.
Well, let's talk about your referee Tommy Bell and his crew that he has down there. How, in the first place, are these particular gentlemen selected for something as prestigious as the Super Bowl?
Well, of course, we rate our officials all year, Kyle. Every game that they work, all through our 182-game schedule, why they receive ratings. And at the end of the year, those people who are rewarded for doing a good job, and these are the people who receive the highest ratings in their respective positions during the season.
What other than, well, I'll just frankly just ask you, do they get more money for officiating a Super Bowl game, say, than they would a normal season game?
That's correct. The people in this game during the regular season receive $500 a game, and for, of course, the Super Bowl, just as the players get more, so do the officials. Their fee here is $1,500 for this game.
What is the unique preparation that goes into it? I know Tommy, when we met with him yesterday to go over any of the special rules that might be in effect, or special coverage that might be in effect, he seemed to be as excited as and as I would say a little cautiously nervous about the game as a player would.
Oh, they are. They spend a great deal of time in their preparation. We have them come into the Los Angeles area on Friday. We have a meeting on Friday evening, and then we spend all day Saturday meeting. And as you know, we met with you partners in Saturday afternoon, went over various phases of the game with you, and then again after your meeting on Saturday afternoon, we had another meeting, and we also had a meeting this morning prior to kickoff. So we leave nothing unturned that we possibly can preparing for the game, Kyle.
You know, our impression, and want to commend you right now on on just some great officials that we have in the National Football League. We were talking about it earlier with Jim, how good they are, what a tough job they do have to do, and how good they do that job. And I guess maybe an official might argue this point with me, but I think the best officiating is when you hardly know the officials are there.
Of course, that's our objective, to be as anonymous as we possibly can, Kyle. And of course, it's just great to walk out of a ballpark and say, gee, I don't remember noticing any official today. Then that's perfect.
Well, Mark, we thank you very much for taking time to come by our NBC microphones here at halftime at the Super Bowl. We look forward to an interesting second half, and I'm sure your men, the officials, will do just as fine a job. They were right on every play in that first half.
Thank you, Kyle, and a happy New Year to both you and Jim.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Kyle and Mark. Both teams are back on the field, and we'll be back for the second half kickoff in just 1 minute.
Okay, by now you've heard me speak about Mackie Picture Frames. You know they have a fantastic 50% off sale. That's right, 50% off. You see, Mackie Picture Frames is closing out their San Jose operation, and everything must go. The sale is on now. They're located at 456A Willow Street. You know, come to think of it, do you have a painting or print rolled up in the closet, and you don't know what to do with it? Take it to any one of the Mackie Picture Frames' 8 convenient locations in the Bay Area and have one of their experts design a custom frame that will turn that painting into a masterpiece. Now, don't think that a custom frame will cost you a fortune. Don't write it off as expensive. Check the yellow pages and find out. Their experts will personally compliment your print or painting to a matching frame. So come into any one of the Mackie Picture Frames locations. But be sure not to miss this great 50% off sale in San Jose. That's Mackie Picture Frames.
The last half of Super Bowl VII is about to begin. This is Jim Simpson with Kyle Rote in Los Angeles, California. Very hot, near 90 degrees on the floor of the Coliseum. The Miami Dolphins have been very hot all day. On offense, they managed 2 touchdowns. A third was called back. Washington has not come close. It is 14-0. The Redskins will receive the second half kickoff. The Redskins, the home team in this National Football Conference town, huddling now on the near sideline, dressed in burgundy and gold with white numerals. The Miami Dolphins, disappointed last year in their first trip to the Super Bowl, humiliated by the Dallas Cowboys, have come back and have done a little humiliating of their own in the first half of this game. But it doesn't take an expert to know that it takes 2 halves of a football game to make a complete game, and the Redskins are not out of it yet. They've got 30 minutes to play. Redskins bustle out on the field now. Renee, Mulkey, and Heyman, who will go back deep, as Garo Yepremian will kick off today. For Yepremian, this will be his 3rd kickoff, the first to start a half. He kicked off, of course, after the 2 touchdowns scored by Miami. The Dolphins are now on the field, and the smog again has begun to lift just a little bit. As they wait for the ball, Kyle, how about some early statistics?
Well, very quickly, as the score might indicate, the Dolphins are out in front statistically. 130 yards for the Dolphins to 72 total yards for Washington. The breakdown on that is 74 on the ground for Miami to 49 yards on the ground for Washington. In the air, the Dolphins hold the edge also, 56 yards to 23 for Washington. The Miami quarterback, Bob Greasy, has been sacked twice. Kilmer has not been trapped. However, Kilmer has been picked off 2 times. That's the big difference, 2 big interceptions. Larry Brown, the leading runner for Washington. Larry Zonka, leading runner for Miami.
As Yepremian kicks off, high, short kick. Mulkey comes out to the 15 and has it there. Crosses 20, has a lot of speed, and gets out near the 30-yard line. Tripped up, actually, as he hit to the 25-yard line. Tripped up by number 48, Henry Stuckey, the youngster out of Missouri by way of the Detroit Lions training camp. He tripped him up as Mulkey flew by, and it's a return from about the 15 yards out to the 30-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. Redskins trail 14-0. Kilmer, Haraway, Brown in the backfield. Jefferson and Taylor, the wide receivers. Smith at tight end. Hermeling and Rock, the tackles. Loving and Wilbur, the guards. Haas at center. 1st down. Kilmer's back to throw on 1st down. Throws across the middle again to Jerry Smith. He makes his catch 1st down across the 40-yard line. And at that, Smith was very closely covered by Mike Colon, the right side linebacker, and that pass could have gone either way. Bonacani was there also. But it's a gain from just past the 30 to just past the 40, a little bit more than 10 yards, and it's 1st and 10.
The Redskins coming out firing. Apparently they're not going to go as much on the ground, mix it up a little bit more. They seem to stay an inordinate amount of time on the ground in the first half.
First time Jefferson and Taylor been on the same side. They're both flanked to the right. I formation, ball given to Larry Brown, and he doesn't get much. Herndon Herder is right there along with Manny Fernandez as Brown went straight ahead as the play action started out to the right side. Brown went straight ahead at the left defensive end, and then Herder more than mastered the situation. A gain of 2 yards. It's 2nd down and 8. The touchdowns for Miami, a 28-yard pass play to Howard Twilley with 1 second to go in the first quarter. And Jim Kick dove over from 1 yard out with 18 seconds to go in the half after Bonacani set up that touchdown with the 2nd interception of the day by a Dolphin. Again, Taylor and Jefferson are wide to the right. This time, Kilmer's looking for them and throwing, and it pops in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. Then the receiver was Charlie Taylor at the 47-yard line. He is on his back there. At both men, Taylor went straight down. Jefferson went down and out toward the sidelines. Kilmer went for the closer man, and Taylor could not hold on to the ball. And so now the Redskins, who came out firing, got a 1st down, find themselves with a 3rd down and 8 situation.
And in fairness to Charlie Taylor, Kilmer had him wide open. It was not the best thrown pass. I guess it was catchable, but it was way down around his shoe tops.
3rd down and 8 to go. Jefferson wide to the left. Taylor wide to the right. The backs are split 7 or 8 yards in the backfield. Kilmer calls signals. Goes back to throw. Throws to Charlie Taylor. Got it 1st down across the 45 down to the 42. The deepest penetration for the Washington Redskins today. Mumford makes the stop. In the first half, which Miami scored 3 times, but 1 was called back, they went to the dressing room with 14 points. The difference in time of possession of the football was only 14 seconds. Even Steven, except Miami won the battle statistics in the scoreboard. 1st down for the Redskins on the 42 of Miami. This time Jefferson and Taylor both go out to the left side. First time they both been to that side. I formation. Haraway the up man, Brown the deep man. Jerry Smith, the tight end, is on the right side. Gilmer calls signals, rolls out, looks again. Down and out pattern, has his man Jefferson knocked out of bounds. First down inside the 30-yard line. At the 27-yard line. Knocked out by Curtis Johnson, and the Redskins are on the move.
And Jim, this is indicative of some great work in the press box during that first half and some very quick communications in the locker room during the halftime, explaining to the players what things they think can go. We're seeing a result of that right now. They put in some plays that they thought would go. Apparently got them going down on the 27.
Jefferson right, Taylor left this time out of the I formation. Kilmer at the line of scrimmage. The Redskins on their first march to the ball game. They trailed by 14 early in the second half. Kilmer again throwing down and out, has his man Jefferson. Jefferson's inside the 20-yard line. Bumped down by Mumford and Dick Anderson as he gets to the 19-yard line. A pickup from the 27 to the 19. A gain of 8. It'll be second down and 2 yards to go. 12 minutes to go. And this very quiet Redskin contingent now comes alive, and for the first time of the day, the Dolphin contingent across the way is a little quiet. Dolphins still lead 14-0. Redskins took the opening kickoff, returned it to the 30, and march now inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. I formation, Jefferson to the right, Taylor to the left. Tight end is Jerry Smith. He is on the right side. 5 men up front for the Dolphins. Kilmer hands to the first man, Haraway. Haraway picks up a couple of tough yards, gets down near the 17-yard line. And again, young Vern Denherter out of Central Iowa, the second-year man, made the stop. 2 years in the National Football League and 2 years in the Super Bowl. Vern hopes this is his first Super Bowl ring.
Just can't tell you how impressive that drive of the Redskins is. I think anybody who has played the game to know what it takes to get those communications straight in a halftime where everybody's trying to get a little bit of rest, trying to organize. You have suggestions coming from every corner and trying to get it down set exactly what you want to do when you come out on the field in that second half, what things you think will work and things you want to stay away from. Billy Kilmer and his communications with George Allen and the rest of the coaching staff as they picked up the first down.
Kilmer won a battle there, Kyle. They were calling it third down and about a half a yard to go, and Billy Kilmer came in and said, hey, wait a minute, and he insisted on the call, which is his right, and they had the first down rather easily, almost by the length of the football. Now, with the ball at the 17-yard line, 1st and 10 to go. Jerry Smith and Jefferson both go to the left side. Taylor comes in tight on the right side, still a different formation. The backs are split. Kilmer called signals, fakes, looks, has his man, and Larry Brown can't hold on to it. Hold it, that is Charlie Taylor. Right at the goal line. Taylor was the man, remember, that, as I said, was in tight at the tight right end position. And right at the goal line, double team with Jake Scott, the man who was there with him all the way. The ball was slightly overthrown, and Taylor couldn't hold on to it. Second down and 10 from the 17. 10:50 to go. We are in the third quarter. The temperature's gone down a little bit. At game time, it was 86 on the Coliseum floor. Now we understand the field temperature is 80 degrees. Very sunshiny, warm day in Los Angeles, California. The smog is moved in and out. Smith, tight end left side. Jefferson left side. Taylor wide to the right. I formation. Second down 10. Kilmer calling signals. Kilmer fakes to Haraway. Looks. Now throws. Screen pass set up. Haraway can't hold on to it. Haraway might have been knocked down for a loss, as a matter of fact, but Charlie's a little upset with himself that it did not work, and this means we're coming up to a big play, third down and 10, where Kilmer wants the full 10, doesn't want to have to settle for the field goal.
And that was the play they had worked successfully early in the ball game, faking the screen one way and then going with it to the other way, trying to get those linebackers to go with that first fake, pull them out of there.
Bob Matheson comes in. The famed Miami 53 defense is in as Big Bob Hines, the defensive right tackle, trots out. Situation, third down 10, 17-yard line of the Dolphins. Biggest threat by the Redskins. Jefferson left, Taylor to the right. Tight end Jerry Smith split 5 yards to the left. The backs in the backfield are split. Kilmer calling signals. Kilmer fakes to Brown, drops back to pass. Has time, running out of time, going to be sacked for the first time this afternoon by Manny Fernandez. Going back to the 25-yard line. And on comes Kurt Knight for the first time today. and they'll have to settle for the field goal. No chance for the first down there as the receivers were covered, and Kilmer was sacked for the first time.
And just excellent coverage by the Miami secondary. They had every deep receiver covered. The linebackers had the backs coming out of the backfield covered.
Well, you wonder how it'll go for the Redskins. Here is Kurt Knight, who is 7 for 7 in postseason play. He'll try this from 32 yards out. He has not missed since the end of the regular season. Sam Weiss to hold at the 32. Knight trying to get the Redskins on the board. The kick is up, and the kick is no good. That's the way it's gone for the Dolphins. That's the way it's gone for the Redskins. This game still belongs to the Miami Dolphins. There's timeout in the third quarter with the score. Miami 14 and Washington nothing.
What's new? What's happened, brother? Oh, I'm like
There's a very beautiful place for you and your family. Inside one of the 1973 Chrysler Corporation cars. When you sit in the middle of unibody construction, you're surrounded by one strong, rigid unit of welded steel. Strength below, above, in front of, and behind you. Chrysler Corporation has it all together with unibody construction. It's standard on every Chrysler, Plymouth, or Dodge built in this country. Discover the difference in a Chrysler Corporation car. It's a very nice place to be.
It'll be Miami's ball, 1st and 10 on their own 20 when we return, but now we pause 10 seconds for station identification.
This is KNBR San Francisco. Hear the Carter B. Smith Show tomorrow between 3 and 7.
Jim Simpson with Kyle Road back in Los Angeles. 10:21 to go, third quarter. 14-0 the Dolphins. Redskins moved the ball 45 yards before their 32-yard field goal attempt was no good. Dolphins have the football for the first time in this half. Now let's see how the Redskins defense is adjusted during halftime. As Twilly goes to the right, Warfield to the left. It is Kick and Zonka in the backfield, and Bob Greasy, who had a remarkable first half, 6 for 6, calling signals. Redskins jumping around defensively. Greasy taking a long time, then hands to Zonka, first man, and Larry Zonka did not get back to the line of scrimmage. Big Berlin Biggs was right there with Myron Patios, the middle linebacker, and it'll be second down and about 11.
And one of the defensive adjustments the Redskins made, they went throughout the first half pretty much a basic four-man line, even spacing. They come out in their first defense with an odd man spacing, a man over the center's nose, undershifting the linebackers to one side, the line the other way. They're now back to an even four as this play begins.
Split backfield again. Warfield left, Twilly to the right. Fish is playing right up on Twilly at the line of scrimmage at the 20-yard line. Ball is handed to Zonka. Zonka trying to grab the guy on the outside and gets by one man, and Pat Fisher, a little 5'9" left cornerback, made the stop as Zonka gets from the 19 out to the 25-yard line. Big 3rd down and 5 play, and so Bill Brundage, the pass rusher, comes in. McClinton comes in as a linebacker. Patios and Sistrunk come out on 3rd down and 5. 9:21 to go. Dolphins want to keep this drive going. They've manhandled the Redskins throughout the first half. Only have buckled before the Redskins once and then bent a little bit, but did not allow a score. 3rd and 5. Warfield to the left. Twilly to the right. Zonka is the lone setback. Kick is flanked to the left. About 5 yards off the left side. Ball goes to Zonka straight ahead, and he goes straight ahead and only gets a couple of yards. So it'll be 4th down. The Dolphins fail to pick up the first down. So Alvin Heyman and Ted Baxter go deep. Larry Seipel will come on to kick it away for the Dolphins. Clock continues to run. 8:40 to go. 14-0. Miami's Dolphins. The American Football Conference would like very much to go to Houston next year, owning a 4-3 lead over their rival National Football Conference in Super Bowl play. Double safeties, Heyman and Baxter back at the 30. Seipel is standing at his own 12. Low pass from center. Gets the ball away. Hangs it very high. Heyman backs up to the 25, the 24. Has it there. Gets away from one man. Who gets back to the 20 and is thrown back to the 18-yard line. Heyman kept circling across the field, but the pursuit of Miami was simply tremendous. From back to the 18, Redskins ball, 1st and 10. We'll be back in a moment as there's timeout on the field with the score. The Dolphins 14, the Redskins nothing. You probably have your own particular way of getting started on cold mornings this time of year, like staying in that hot shower a little longer than usual, having an extra hot cup of coffee at breakfast, bundling up in a heavy coat before you go out. Now that's swell for you. What about getting your car started on cold mornings this time of year? Well, hot coffee won't help, but here's something that will. Wynn's Friction Proofing. See, when you add a can of Wynn's Friction Proofing to your oil, it forms a chemical barrier on all the moving parts of your engine. It smooths and seals metal surfaces to reduce friction. And with friction reduced, your engine becomes easier to start. What's more, that chemical barrier protects metal surfaces, while your crankcase oil warms up enough to provide proper lubrication. Look for the purple can of Wynn's Friction Proofing at stores selling automotive supplies. It's really a great way to treat your car engine this time of year. Jim Simpson with Kyle Road as we come back to Los Angeles, California. The ball on the 18-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Redskins when time resumes. A reminder to all of you golf fans, we told you about it before, but remember a monitor every weekend we will have throughout the year, PGA progress reports of all the PGA golf tournaments. Now next week our first PGA progress report will be from the Dean Martin Open down in Tucson, Arizona. Hope you'll join us on Monitor Radio on NBC from the 18. Miami's defense deploys. Redskins able to move the football last time, but then stymied when Kilmer couldn't find anybody open and was sacked. They tried a 32-yard field goal, did not get it. Again, Jefferson and Taylor both go to the same side. They are to the left, I formation behind Kilmer. Now Taylor backs up a little bit. Kilmer pitches out to Larry Brown. Brown looking for running room, gets out to the 25-yard line. Pickup of 7 yards as he comes around the right side. Bob Hines and Manny Fernandez, the defensive tackles pursued, had made the stop there. It'll be 2nd down and 3 at the 25.
Jim, what I assume is a Super Bowl record. The attendance here at the Coliseum in Los Angeles, 90,182.
Point being, Kyle, when they had it here with the city of Los Angeles blacked out, their first Super Bowl, 1967, they only had about 60,000. Here, everybody in Los Angeles can see it on television or hear it on the radio, but 90,182 here. First man threw out of the eyes, Charlie Haraway. Haraway gets the first down. The Redskins showing here in the early going of the second half the ability to move the football, although half of the first half has gone by and nobody has scored. But the Dolphins very comfortably, at least for the moment, sitting on a 14-0 lead. Ball is at the 31-yard line. And now on first down, we see the 53 defense. Not on a 3rd and long situation, but on a first down. They have 3 men rushing, and Bob Matheson added as the 4th defensive linebacker for the Miami Dolphins. Taylor, Jefferson, both to the left. I formation behind Kilmer on first down from a 31-yard line. Here's Larry Brown coming around the right side. Gets out to the 30-yard line, across the 35, and out near the 40-yard line, and near another first down. Goes Brown, run out of bounds by Nick Bonacani, the middle linebacker. It'll be 2nd down, I believe, and about a yard to go.
And, Jim, one of the problems that the Redskins will be strapped with is that they are a ball control type of team also. Not only the Dolphins, but the Redskins, too. And as time ticks away, there are now 6 minutes, 51 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Time will become a factor for them, as they're not known as the big bomb play, the big play team. They just grind it out, control the ball.
Jefferson left, Taylor right, I formation. 2nd and short yardage. They give it to Larry Brown, and he has got the first down across the 40 out to the 43-yard line. Bob Matheson, Mike Colin, and Nick Bonacani all in on the stop. So it's a first down for the Redskins. As Con and I have just pointed out, it is obvious the running plays eat up the clock. 6:30 to go, 14-0 the score. And as Don Shula says, as long as I'm only down by 10 points in the 4th quarter, I feel I can win the game. The Redskins feel the same way. These are veteran, experienced teams, both with their best records ever. Jefferson left, Taylor to the right, I formation on first down from the 43 of Washington. Kilmer drops back a couple of paces, throws down and out to Jefferson. Jefferson's inside the 50-yard line and spins inside the 45-yard line. Down to the 44-yard line. Curtis Johnson was the first to hit him across the way, and then one of the linebackers, Bob Matheson, came over. They mark it at the 44. Well, as the Redskins took the opening kickoff of the half and marched and then had a miss from 32 yards out, they've taken this ball from their own 18-yard line and have moved the ball now to the 44-yard line of Miami. Matheson has gone out, and they put Bob Hines back in. First down and 10. Jefferson to the right, Taylor to the left. They're in the I formation. Kilmer starts back, fakes, throws long, going for the bomb to Jefferson. He's got his man beat, but the ball is overthrown by 3 or 4 yards. Dick Anderson was back with him, but Jefferson now raising his hand as he comes out, and he may pull himself out of the ball game as they wave in Clifton McNeil, number 85. And maybe Roy pulled up a little bit lame. He quickly waved himself out of the game, or perhaps after that long run with it so hot and the smog around, Jefferson just needs a breather. In any event, on first down, Kilmer went for everything from the 44 and overthrew Roy Jefferson.
And that shows an alertness on the part of Clifton McNeil also. A very smart thing that Jefferson did. He knew he was tired. He wouldn't be of much value to his team. Just a signal. McNeil alertly watching it.
McNeil's to the right. Taylor to the left, split backs this time, not the I formation. Second down 10 from the 44. Long count by Kilmer. Drops straight back, looks down the sidelines, and overthrows his man Charlie Taylor down at the 17-yard line. Ball went out of bounds, and Curtis Johnson was pursuing him all the way. The weak side safety, Jake Scott, had come over to help out. But Taylor again had a stride perhaps on Johnson. Would have had to have been a perfectly thrown pass for Taylor to catch up to the ball. Washington now has 11 first downs, but 7 of those in this first half, or second half rather. But here they are needing a first down very badly on third down and 10. They've moved the ball a little bit, but they haven't scored all day long. Miami's going into that 53 defense again. Hines out, Bob Matheson in. Redskins break out of the huddle. Jefferson still out of the ball game. Hold it. Jefferson is now in and is to the right, and McNeil to the left as Taylor gets a breather after that long run in this heat of the Los Angeles Coliseum. Whoops, everybody's jumping, and the ball has not been snapped. It's liable to be third down and 15. Jerry Smith started on the right side. Man on the left side started to pull. Miami stayed still, so it's going to be a legal procedure motion charged against the Redskins. Take the ball back to the 49. It'll be third down and 15 yards from there. 5:21 to go, third quarter. Miami owns the lead, 14-0.
And that might not seem like a major penalty or a major occurrence in a game, but in a game like the Super Bowl, every little mistake hurts you so much.
Washington, for them, their 10th third down conversion attempt. They have made 3 of the previous 9. Kilmer in a long huddle back on his own 40-yard line now breaks them out, sending McNeil out to the left and Jefferson to the right. Jerry Smith again is the tight end, split about 4 yards to the right. Backs are split in the backfield. Third and 15. Kilmer going back to pass. Kilmer has time. Kilmer looks, throws over the middle, over the hands of Clifton McNeil. He threw slightly behind Clifton McNeil. McNeil had broken through the seams of the zone, but the ball was slightly behind him and overthrown, and it's fourth down. And Mike Bragg comes on to punt the ball away.
You know, Jim, I don't know whether the Miami defensive alignment is confusing Billy Kilmer that much. He doesn't seem to be confident of where he wants to throw it. Isn't just affirmatively attacking his passing game. He seems to be just sort of not really sure of what he wants to do.
Jake Scott stands back inside his 10. Mike Bragg is on his own 35 waiting to punt the ball away with 5:16 to go in the third quarter. Bragg has plenty of time, gets it very high, very short. Scott calls fair catch and has it at the 17-yard line. It'll be first and 10 for the Miami Dolphins from their own 17. Timeout with 5:09 to go in the third quarter. Dolphins 14, Redskins nothing.
This is Joe Garagiola. Any football fan knows you need all kinds of players in a good line. You need the guard who can block for his running backs. You need the end who can break down the field and catch a pass. And you know it takes all kinds to make a good car line. And that's just what Dodge has given you in 1973. First, the big Dodge with the room and comfort to make points with the man who wants a full-size car. Then Coronet. It's a 4-door that gives the family man just the right amount of room. There's Charger. That's the one that gets all the applause for its great looks. Then there's the sporty Challenger. And there's the Dodge Dart that comes in its standard version and the new Dart Sport convertible model. For $73, Dodge has the line that should make a hit with everyone. See your nearest Dodge dealer today.
With Carl Roth, this is Jim Simpson back in Los Angeles, along with 90,182 others. We hope you're enjoying this broadcast wherever you are in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, throughout the Caribbean, throughout Europe, Asia, Japan. We say hello to all of you. It's 14-0. The Dolphins have first down at their own 17. Warfield comes to the left. Morris is in there with Larry Zonka. Twilly is out to the right. Split backfield. Ball is handed to Mercury Morris, and Morris is dragged down by Chris Handberger, but not until he crosses the 20-yard line and out to the 23-yard line. That'll be a gain of 6. It'll be second down and 4. Chris Handberger, the fine right side linebacker, very fast, used to be a fullback at North Carolina, has 4 interceptions, but nothing has been thrown in his area as Miami's shown the amazing ability, not so amazing when you look at the record, but the ability to hold onto the football and move it. Here is Warfield to the left, Twilly to the right. Again, split backfield, second down, 4 to go from the 22 of Miami. Bob Greasy calling signals. Bob Greasy hands to Zonka. Zonka breaks across the left side and is finally tackled by the free safety Roosevelt Taylor after he picks up a first down out to the 34-yard line. Larry Zonka.
Great blocking by that Miami offensive line, too. Bob Kuchenberg, Larry Little, Jim Langer actually making a good block back.
Zonka gained 12 yards and a first down.
The Redskins scored 14 points on one occasion, 17 on another, but they have never been shut out or held to less than 14 points all year long. But they're being held to that right now. I formation this time. Greasy hands to the first man through. That is Zonka. Zonka breaks loose of tackles. He is at the 40, and Pat Fisher tries to on-tackle him. Can't do it. They finally wrestle him down at the 16-yard line. As Jack Pardee and Brig Owens, the strong safety, come back. Zonka burst over his own left side of the line. Fisher came over, got an arm on him, couldn't get it. Pardee and Taylor made the stop. 44-yard run. Makes that a 49-yard run down to the 16-yard line. And that is the longest run against the Redskins defense all year long. Walt Garrison tore one for 41 yards. Other than that, that's been the only run more than 33 yards against the Redskins defense this year. That was 49 yards. 14-0. The ball at the 16-yard line. Miami clearly in control, sending Twilly out to the right. Warfield to the left. Backs, Morris and Zonka are split. Greasy calling signals. Mercury Morris, second man through, going across behind Larry Little, his right offensive guard, and gets down inside the 15-yard line. They'll mark it between the 13 and the 12. It'll be second down from there. A gain of a little bit more than 3 yards.
Larry Zonka closing in on a Super Bowl record with 2 minutes and a half more than a quarter to go. Matt Snell holds the record, 121 yards. He set that in 1969. Zonka now 101 yards.
Twilly trots out to the right, Warfield to the left. Miami, a young and very confident football team at this point. Their backs are split in the backfield. Greasy is calling signals on second down, hands it to Morris, starting out the right side. Excellent blocking, gets down to the 10-yard line, rides down near a first down at the 7-yard line. Thrown down across the way by number 37, Pat Fisher. And they may have to call for a measurement for this one as they're coming back over to the sticks on the near side, and they'll take it to see whether or not they have a first down at the 7-yard line.
Miami just looking so impressive on that ground attack. Zonka, in that long run of his, the 49-yard run, just attacking Pat Fisher, the safety man, just bouncing him off of him, really attacking him rather than Fisher attacking Zonka.
About a yard to go for the first down. Doug Crusan, who's been injured over the last couple of games of the season, and throughout the playoff games and the conference championship, Crusan has come in for the first time, 5-year veteran, playing at left tackle. Now with Zonka has gone over the 100-yard mark, just flashed 101 yards. The ball is at the 7-yard line. They've got about a yard to go for the first down. Jim Kick, very adept at getting those tough 1-yard situations, comes in. Big play here for the Redskins and a big play for the Dolphins. They've got 2 tight ends in. They've got Zonka, they've got Kick. They get the first down, they can try for the touchdown. If they don't, it may be that they would go for the field goal and a 17-0 lead. Kick and Zonka lined up, everybody in tight. Warfield flanked just off the right side of the line. The ball is given to Jim Kick, and Kick looks for running room and looks like he got the first down at the 5-yard line. All depends on where they spot the ball. If they spot it at the 5, and that's where they're standing, that's a 1st and goal to go. Can you imagine 14 games during the regular season without a loss, being behind the Cleveland, being behind the Pittsburgh, coming on to winning their 15th and 16th games, and now, as Don Shula said at the outset, if we win 17 in a row, that's a season. That means we've got the Super Bowl. Dolphins lead 14-0. Mercury Morris has come back in along with Larry Zonka, split backfield. Warfield left this time. Still 2 tight ends on 1st and goal to go. Zonka gets just back to the line of scrimmage on a counter play going from the left side across his own right side, and Darren Talbert is there to make the stop. Doug Crusan, we told you, came in for the first time in this game. He came in because his replacement, Wayne Moore, went out slightly nauseated. As we said, it is very hot. Now a man going back to the Miami huddle falls down and is very weak on his feet and gets up. It looks like Jim Mandich almost passed out on the field. As we said, the smog factor very heavy here. Temperature in the 80s on the field. Moore has taken himself out.
Shaken up on the last play.
Men have taken themselves out after going down deep for long passes, and now Mandich is being let off.
Marv Fleming coming in to take his place. And as you said, these fellows have been, for most of the last month, working out in colder weather. And this type of humidity here, the smog affects them a little bit too. Unseasonably warm weather suddenly, and it's been cooler most of the early part of this week.
2nd down and goal to go. The ball, actually, Zonka lost a half a yard on that last play, or the kick, and Seipel, the punter, is coming as a tight end. He goes to the right side. Invaluable player. He turned around the Pittsburgh American Conference Championship. Split backfield, Warfield off to the left. On 2nd down and goal from just over the 5-yard line, Greasy fakes, looks into the end zone, throws into the end zone for Marv Fleming, and it is intercepted in the end zone by Brig Owens, the strong side safety. And it'll come out to the 20-yard line. Fleming thought he had it all the way, and Owens reached up and snatched it just before it got to him. So with a score 14-0, 25 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, there is still life in the Redskins. Although Miami has dominated this game, rushing for 159 yards to the Redskins' 79 yards, and due to the fact, of course, that the Dolphins have scored 14 points, had 7 more called back because of a penalty, and we're down on the 5-yard line then. Redskins have never gotten that deep. Jefferson and Taylor both come to the right, I formation. Billy Kilmer back in. He's been intercepted twice, both in the first half. Kilmer hands to Larry Brown, pursued by Manny Fernandez, and then finally knocked down by the linebacker on that side, Doug Swift. Fernandez turned that play outside, and Swift came up. 10 seconds to go and counting here in the 3rd quarter. A loss of 5 yards. It is 2nd down and 15. They'll not get another play off. 1 second to go. The players have already started toward the other end of the field. That is the end of the 3rd quarter. The Dolphins of Miami 14. The Redskins of Washington nothing.
Get onto the freeway, I'd step on the gas, and everything sort of started rattling.
What do some people who used to use regular gasoline say about Shell's Super Regular? Listen to these actual interviews.
I'm no expert on cars or anything, but I know this is kind of shouldn't be there. And I tried this Shell Super Regular, and it seemed to take care of that. I don't know if any more paying.
We switched over to the Super Regular. I find it works very well. It starts fast in the morning. Don't have it dying out like I used to.
I get out in the morning, just turn the switch, and she kicks off, and away I go.
Most times when I get in the car, it takes till I get around the block for the car not to cough. And it hasn't been coughing now with the Super Regular.
Try Shell's low-lead Super Regular and the Big Red Pump. Good drivability, plus more octane than the average regular. Ask our customers. Shell products perform.
Along with Kyle Roth, this is Jim Simpson in Los Angeles. It'll be second down, and let's call it 16 as they've spotted the ball at the 14-yard line. The Washington Redskins. Zonka has 101 yards. We gave you that. The record, the set of 121 down in the Orange Bowl of Miami when Matt Snell of New York did such a job against the Baltimore Colts. Right now, the Redskins are looking for some kind of score. The closest they have come has been a 32-yard field goal attempt in the third quarter. Other than that, it has been all Miami. Again, the smog begins to settle in on this hot, hot day. Several of the players have left nauseated, as we said. Gilmer now has a signal. Now takes his men into the huddle back on the 5-yard line. Mandich was not shaken up. He is nauseated just like Wayne Moore. Jefferson is in, wide to the right. Taylor wide to the left on second down and 16 from the 14-yard line. Backfield is split. Gilmer calls signals. Gilmer hands to Larry Brown. Brown slips as he gets right back, maybe to the line of scrimmage. Bonacani is there, along with Mike Colin, the right side linebacker. But Brown never really got going, and he has been really slowed down in this game. He is a great runner, but has had no opportunity today.
You know, Jim, we were expecting both Larry Brown and Mercury Mars to have outstanding running days, only because they were emotionally ready for it. They are playing on natural grass, natural turf, which they say they prefer much more than they do the artificial turf. And when you're emotionally set for a game like this, you usually run pretty well.
Brown has carried 17 times, 42 yards. Not much. Third down. Gilmer goes back, throws a swing pass out to Brown. Bounds across the 10, across the 20, trying to get the first down. Goes out near the 28-yard line, fumbles the football. He goes out of bounds. Off Brown. Last man to have possession. And that was Brown. Goes out of bounds back at the 26.
Fumbled the ball out of bounds.
So it is going to be fourth down from the 26 and about 4 to go. Bragg is in to kick the ball away. And now, with you, we will watch that clock. We are in the fourth quarter. There are only 14 minutes and 12 seconds to go. The Redskins are down by 14 points. Brown comes off. Looks like he's favoring his left shoulder. Or perhaps it is his left wrist or elbow. Bragg is in at the 12-yard line. Jake Scott steps back deep at his own 35-yard line. Waiting for the snap is Mike Bragg. Rush is not on. Kicks it straight up. Very short, very poor kick. And is caught by one of the up men at the 49-yard line, Dick Anderson. That is a kick from the 27-yard line to the 49-yard line of 24 yards. Earlier, Bragg had one of 28 yards. Timeout at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. Dolphins 14, Redskins nothing.
Give your hand to a friend. Give your heart to your love. But give your cold contact. Give your cold contact.
What sneezes a lot, has a runny nose, big red eyes, and is getting all stuffed up with congestion. Give up? It's you. You've got a cold coming on. But don't give up. Give your cold to Contact early. The 600 tiny time pills in each capsule can help relieve your sneezing, runny nose, your congestion up to 12 hours. And Contact is not limited to nighttime colds. So we can help you feel better today, rest better tonight, and feel better tomorrow. Take Contact early. That's early cold care. Give your cold to Contact.
Give your hand to a friend. Give your heart to your love. But give your cold to Contact. Give your cold to Contact.
Number one in the whole world.
They have been working on Larry Brown's left wrist and left hand in that area. He is on the bench getting a wet towel to put over it. Well, Mike Bragg on his punts today has averaged just a little bit more than 31 yards. This last one gave Miami excellent field position, and they have the 14-point lead. They're at their own 49-yard line. Warfield left, Willie right. Second man is Morris trying to get outside, and he's never going to get outside, but he does break a couple of tackles and does get outside. Mercury Morris on individual brilliance. He was missed by Sistrunk, Padios, Brig Owens, and finally Verlin Biggs came over from the other side of the field to knock him out of bounds. After all of that, a 2-yard gain. Second down and 8. Second down and 8.
2 yards.
Dolphins scored with 1 second to go in the first quarter, with 18 seconds to go in the second quarter. Nobody scored in the third quarter. We're now well into the fourth quarter. It's 14-0 Miami. Twilly right, Warfield left. The backs are split. They are Zonka and Mercury Morris. Bob Greasy looking for Warfield, down and in. Warfield put a move on Mike Bass, and it looked to me, Kyle, as though Mike looked upfield to see, was that interference I just did? I bumped him, but he did bump him before the ball was in the air.
Well, he has one shot at him, but he can't hit him after he passes him, and that's the point what Warfield was trying to do, fake him to the sideline and then take it deep downfield. Pass Bob Greasy, the timing on that's most critical. You have to let that ball go while your man is going toward the sideline. So their timing was a little off. The ball was overthrown a little bit. Warfield hadn't had a chance to get upfield that soon.
Larry Zonka takes a breather. Jim Kick replaces him, and Mandich, who was shaken up on the play, nauseated, is back in and ready to play. Both Warfield and Twilley are to the left on 3rd down and 8 to go. Kick and Mercury Morse, both great receivers. They're throwing in the direction of Kick. Kick is looking for running room and is dragged down shy of the first down. Now a gang tackle across the way as they get to about the 47-yard line. And so now Larry Seipel is coming on again, and apparently the Dolphins will punt the ball away again. Alvin Heyman goes deep. 12:59 to go.
And the sun factor here right now for Heyman might be a little problem. The sun is right in his eyes as he looks back toward Seipel.
Seipel in punt formation.
Larry Seipel steps back behind his own 40-yard line. Vactor and Heyman. Vactor is up on the right sideline to about the 10. Heyman back to the 7 on the left. Ball kick toward Vactor, calls for fair catch, has it right at the 10.5-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 from there. Well, Miami had great field position, could not move the ball. Redskins are about 90 yards away from a score of any kind with 12:31 to go, and they're trailing by 2 touchdowns. Larry Brown is coming back in. Remember, he sustained an injury to his left wrist or hand as on that last play when he fumbled the ball out of bounds. So Jefferson to the left, Taylor to the right. They come out in the I formation. The Redskins have shown some flashes here in the second half of moving the football, but none in the first half. Taylor down and out, has his man Jefferson along the sidelines, and Jefferson is run out of bounds as he gets to the 18-yard line by Curtis Johnson, the right side cornerback. That's a gain from the 10 to the 18. It'll be 2nd down and 2.
And Kilmer very wisely, again, trying everything he can to do to influence the linebackers of Miami. He will look one way and almost make like he's throwing a quick pass to the right, turn around, throw back to his left, trying to get that outside linebacker to go with that first fake to get him out of the trajectory of the ball.
Split backs this time. Taylor left, Jefferson right on 2nd down and 2. Coming the Redskins looking for something in a hurry if they can. Give the ball to Larry Brown. He is more than enough for the first down as he bursts across the left side and across the 20-yard line out to the 24-yard line. Mike Colon came up to make the stop from his right linebacker spot. That's the first down for the Redskins. Miami has allowed the Redskins in this half, through Redskin adjustments, to move the football. The old business, they have been bending, but they have not been giving up or snapping. Hines goes out. Bob Matheson comes in as the Dolphins go to their 53 defense. Now Taylor and Jefferson both go to the right side on 1st down 10 from the 24-yard line. Dolphins lead at 14-0. 11.5 minutes left in the ball game in Super Bowl number 7. And the round play to Jerry Smith, the tight end. Smith gets out to the 30-yard line. Going from the left to right, he is dragged down over there by Dick Anderson, the strong side safety. Well, we have seen Charlie Taylor try the end around, and for a team that likes to control the ball and do not much unusual, George Allen is beginning to pull out the stops.
Well, that's true. However, the one thing about it, it's a very time-consuming play. It isn't really designed to go a long way because of the speed of a Jerry Smith, number one. But its time is running out. 10:53, clock running.
2nd and 4, I formation this time. Quick pitch back to Larry Brown. Comes out the left side, finds a little hole, gets past Bonacani and has the first down across the 40-yard line. Bonacani managed to hold a hand on him and allowed some other people to come up and help out. So it's a first down for the Redskins at the 41 as from Los Angeles. We pause 10 seconds for station identification.
This is KNBR San Francisco. Hear the Frank Dill Show tomorrow morning between 6 and 10 a.m.
Jefferson to the right, Taylor to the left, I formation on 1st down Redskins. Very warm afternoon. Kilmer calling signals. Kilmer fakes. Now looks to run. Has to run. He is out of the pocket. He is across the 50-yard line, still on his feet, and wrestled back inside the 50-yard line. But they'll mark it at the 49-yard line of the Miami Dolphins. Bill Kilmer does not run often. Used to be the tailback in the 49ers shotgun offense when he first came out of college in '61. He can run, not speedy, not nifty. He'd rather throw the ball or hand off.
He must be pretty sturdy, too, because he took shots from Mike Colin, Bob Matheson, Doug Swift, all three big linebackers, 220, 235, 226. They all three gave him a good shot.
A gain of a little bit more than 9, second and very short yardage. They've got Taylor to the right. Jefferson left, short yardage. Haraway's got the first down as he goes across the outside. They went inside the left end, and Manny Fernandez, the left tackle, pursued him and finally knocked him down as he got to the 42-yard line. We'll watch the clock with you, 9:05 to go. We point out, but it is the truth, and it is obvious, but it is a fact of life. The clock is running. The Redskins are down by 14. Miami quite content for the Redskins to keep the ball along the ground. They might manufacture a score, but they sure are using up the clock. Kilmer on first down, long huddle back at midfield, now sends both Taylor and Jefferson to the left side and brings his backs out on the I formation.
First down.
First down from the 42. Kilmer calling signals. Now hands it to the first man through. That is Haraway, and he picks up yardage inside the 40-yard line and gets down to about the 37. Picks up 5, second down 5. Clock running now, 8:15, Kyle.
And the Dolphins continue to stay in that 3-man front line with 4 linebackers. Apparently, they are willing to let the Redskins pick up 4 or 5 yards, which they can do against the 3-man line with fair consistency. But, of course, it's a much tougher defense to pass against. I guess the Dolphins figure they'll just let them run the clock out.
Now Jefferson Taylor both go to the wide side. That is the far side of the field to the right. High backs. Kilmer turned around and yelled something at his 2 setbacks. Second man through is Brown. Brown picks up yardage near the first down, inside the 35, down to about the 32. That might be close enough to call for the measurement. Bill Stanfield, a former Outland Trophy winner from the University of Georgia, made the stop. He's a defensive right end. Coming over to get the sticks, Kyle.
You know, they talk about the Miami schedule this year. There'd been talk about the fact that they had not really met a tough schedule, and that's one reason why they perhaps had trouble in the playoffs against Cleveland than against Pittsburgh. But they beat pretty good clubs: Minnesota, Kansas City, New York Jets.
Very short yardage to go. It'll be third and a couple of inches to go. Washington moving the ball very well, but on this drive alone, they've taken 5 minutes off the clock. 7:41 to go. Third down and just inches to go. Taylor to the right. Tommy Bell, the referee, winds the clock. It's going down to about 7.5 minutes now. Split backs. Kilmer calling signals on third and short yardage. Gives it to Larry Brown. Brown just leaps over everybody and inside the 30-yard line for the first down. Picked up much more than he needed. Run from the 32 down to the 28-yard line. The crowd here at Los Angeles since the early going has been rather quiet. And as we pointed out to you as we came on the air, George Allen used to coach the Rams here. A lot of Redskin fans are here, and this is a National Football Conference town. But this thus far has been an American Football Conference day. Miami is not allowed a point yet. First down from the 28-yard line. I formation, both wide receivers to the left. Kilmer fakes, rolls out, being rushed, looks, now runs to the right, nobody there, fakes again, runs inside the 25, inside the 20-yard line to the 19-yard line goes Billy Kilmer, another 9-yard pickup, his second on this drive. Clock running, 6:35 to go. It'll be about second and another yard to go.
Bob Matheson saving the day, one of the linebackers, and on those 4 linebacker sets that they have, they red dog one of their linebackers in. That put the pressure on Kilmer. That was Swift coming in.
Last time Swift came in like that, Kilmer had put the ball in the air, Kyle, and Bonacani had intercepted it. Run it back 37 yards for the second touchdown. Taylor goes to the right. Jefferson comes out to the left. I formation, second of the yard to go from the 19.5-yard line. Redskins trail by 14. Down and out pattern to Charlie Taylor. Steps out of bounds, which stops the clock at the 14-yard line. And more importantly, it gives them a first down. So the clock is stopped with 6:03 to go. Hear this. Miami leads 14-0. In first downs, Miami 9 first downs, Washington 16. That's what we mean by bending but not snapping. First down at the 14, by far and away for the Redskins, the best they've been able to do today.
And you have a feeling, Jim, that Washington keeps nibbling away. When are they going to go for that end zone? They are now on the 14-yard line.
Taylor and Jefferson both to the right side. They'll come out in the I formation. The tight end is Jerry Smith. He is on the left side. First down from the 14-yard line. Kilmer talking up and down his line. Now settles in under the center. Quick pitch back to Larry Brown. Cuts inside. Gets down to about the 10-yard line. A pickup of 4 yards on the play as he went around the right side. It'll be second down, and that clock continues to run. And the clock is all in the favor of the Miami Dolphins with 5:47 to go. They're out in front by 14. The Redskins haven't crossed that goal line yet. And it is second down from about the 10.5-yard line.
Both clubs still have all 3 timeouts remaining to them.
Taylor right, Jefferson left. Brown and Haraway split in the backfield this time. Kilmer up on second down and 6 to go. Kilmer drops back, looks for the end zone, throws for the end zone, and it hits the goalpost. Looking for Jerry Smith, who had cut between 2 men at the end of the end zone near the out-of-bounds marker, and Kilmer's ball hit the end zone, and that, of course, just kills the ball, and it is third down. Ball is dead as soon as it hits the goalpost. Give you a little quiz. Kyle knows the answer. When does the ball hit a goalpost and it is not dead?
When you're passing from behind your end zone or in your end zone trying to get out of it.
Or punting from your end zone. There goes Taylor to the right. Jefferson out to the left. Big play, third down here, and a long 6 yards to go from the 11-yard line. Kilmer drops back to throw over the middle, and it is intercepted in the end zone and brought out by Scott. Scott's out to the 10, the 15. He is down the sideline. Haraway is chasing him and drags him down as he gets across the 50. And to all intents and purposes, barring some kind of miracle, that could be it with 5:08 to go. The third interception for the Dolphins, the second for Jake Scott, who took it about 4 yards deep in the end zone and ran it back to the 48 of Washington. And time has been called on the field.
It looks like Kilmer went to the well once too often down the middle. He had been picked off a couple of times.
55-yard return. Bonacani, when he set up a second touchdown, it was 37 yards. Timeout. 5:08 to go in the game. The Dolphins in control. They lead Washington 14-0. You probably have your own particular way of getting started on cold mornings this time of year, like staying in that hot shower a little longer than usual, having an extra hot cup of coffee at breakfast, bundling up in a heavy coat before you go out. Now that's swell for you. What about getting your car started on cold mornings this time of year? Well, hot coffee won't help, but here's something that will. Wynn's Friction Proofing. See, when you add a can of Wynn's Friction Proofing to your oil, it forms a chemical barrier on all the moving parts of your engine. It smooths and seals metal surfaces to reduce friction. And with friction reduced, your engine becomes easier to start. What's more, that chemical barrier protects metal surfaces, while your crankcase oil warms up enough to provide proper lubrication. Look for the purple can of Wynn's Friction Proofing at stores selling automotive supplies. It's really a great way to treat your car engine this time of year. The remarkable thing is, not only have the Miami Dolphins handled the Redskins so well after having to struggle to defeat their last 2 opponents, meaning the Cleveland Browns and then the Pittsburgh Steelers, they have shut out the Redskins, and the Redskins this year have come nowhere near being shut out. But they're being shut out in the biggest of all games of the year, the Super Bowl. 1st and 10 from the 49-yard line. I formation for the Dolphins. They've got the 14-point lead. Reese hands to Zonka, who goes straight ahead and gets down near the 41-yard line. Tripped up by McDowell, and he fell forward to the 41-yard line. Bill Kilmer played his football at UCLA, played right here in the Coliseum of Los Angeles. Today has been intercepted 3 times and returned 95 yards. 55 of those 95 yards returned by Scott on that last one, 37 by Bonacani, and Scott on the first interception of the game accounted for the rest of the yardage. from the 41. Second down and short yardage, about 3. Clock is running, 4.5 minutes to go. I formation. Warfield left, Twilly to the right. 14-0. Miami leads in the Super Bowl. Greasy, second man through, is Jim Kick, and he gets some tough yardage and may have the first down inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line. Talbert, Hamburger, Sistrunk, all there and on the stop.
And Jake Scott, with that interception, his second of the game, tied a Super Bowl record, which has been shared now by Randy Beverly and Chuck Howley. Randy Beverly doing it in 1969. Howley doing it for Dallas last year, or in 71.
Measuring for the first down, the Dolphins have the first down inside the 38-yard line. Well, next year the Super Bowl will be played down at Rice Stadium in Houston, Texas. We wonder as we look ahead a year, who will be down there? The Redskins back, Miami back. Guarantee you these are two good teams. And Miami, remember, has not been defeated since the Redskins beat them in an exhibition game, 27-24. They're trying to win their 17th game of the season. First down, split backs, Twilly right, Warfield to the left on a hot day in Los Angeles. First down for the Dolphins, trying to run it down. Greasy hands off to Jim Kick. Kick fights inside the 35-yard line, knocked down there as he gets down to about the 34-yard line. Jack Pardee, Brig Owens in on the stop. Clock is running, 3:42, barring the miracle that we mentioned moments ago when Jake Scott intercepted and returned 55 yards. It looks like the American Football Conference will go home with a 4-3 edge over the National Football Conference in the Super Bowl, which was first played in this stadium in 1967. Green Bay under Vince Lombardi won the first 2 Super Bowls. Then the American Football League, or Conference as it's now called, broke through with the New York Jets over the Baltimore Colts. Now the younger conference is about to take a 4-3 lead, barring a miracle Redskin comeback. Ball is handed off to the running back, Larry Zonka, and Zonka gets to the 35-yard line, and that is about all, as we are keeping our eye half on the field and half on the clock, which now shows there are less than 3 minutes to go. Well, Dolphin fans and Redskin fans came a long way to watch this one. Both of them more than 3,000 miles. They're both East Coast teams, and here they are on the West Coast to watch Super Bowl number 7. And a lot of them now are beginning to walk out of the Coliseum. Record crowd, 90,182. Everything is booked out of Los Angeles, going from Los Angeles east tomorrow. Greasy's going to throw. As he fades back to look. He puts it in the air for Twilly. Twilly is there, and it's knocked away from him by Pat Fisher. Great play at the 4-yard line. For Howard, Twilly, and Pat Fisher this time. Twilly caught a touchdown over him back in the first quarter. But Greasy showed some gambler's instinct there. With less than 3 minutes to go, he put the ball in the air. Now it is 4th down. But of course, in all fairness to Bob, he put the ball in the air deep, so if it was intercepted, it would be way down the field. Gail Upremian is now in, and will try his first field goal attempt of the day from 42 yards out. His counterpart, Kurt Knight, missed from 32 yards out. Morrill holding at the 42. Dolphins trying to ice it. The kick is blocked. Picked up. Upremian throws it up in the air, and it was picked up by a Redskin. Mike Bass down the sideline. He will score! The miracle may happen. The specialty teams blocked it. Upremian picked it up, threw it up in the air on a pass. Mike Bass picked it off near midfield and returned it all the way, getting away from Upremian. And with 2:07 to go, it will be 14-7. Now in our booth, we have instant replay. Looks like it was a Ted Baxter block field goal. Upremian picked it up, threw it up for grabs. It was deflected as he threw it up. Bass picked it down, and behind perfect blocking, with only Upremian to get him, legged it the rest of the way. Well, with 2:07 to go, don't go away. The Dolphins have been scored on, and once again, the Redskins defense, which this year blocked 4 punts and 5 field goals, has now blocked its 6th of the season. A 49-yard return for a touchdown. 2:07 to go, and they're going to call time for a moment, Kyle.
Oh, fumble recovery in midair. Of course, they can return it. Also, looked like a bad snap. Maul had a little trouble with it. Imperium had to wait a little while.
Play will be nice kicking and
2:07 to go. For some reason, they called time. Now they have put time back in. Sam Weiss has come in to hold. This is a must point also. Within 7 points, the Redskins have a chance. If they miss here, here's Knight's extra point kick. It is good. 2:07 to go, and who knows what's going to happen. Because now, the Redskins are within 7 points, and a possible chance at sudden death. They're alive. We were talking about the miracle Kyle wrote. It hasn't happened yet, but they got a leg on it.
Well, it sort of reminds you of so many of those playoff games, Jim. The Dallas victory, the Pittsburgh victory over Oakland. Who would have given the Steelers a chance in that last play for it to have happened, particularly the way it happened. Here it is with 2 full minutes and 7 seconds left.
Well, they are expecting the Dolphins naturally an onside kick. Charlie Lee goes deep. Only one man back. The other 10 men are between the 40 and 50-yard line.
Permian appeared to be in the act of passing, but it was ruled that he never did have control of the ball, and it was a fumble.
We now get a ruling that your premium, and this is a press box quote, appeared to be in the act of passing, but never had control of the ball, so as Kyle said, labeled a fumble in midair. That is the official ruling. Here's the kick. They kick it deep. Taken on the goal line. This is Mercury Morris back there trying to get outside, and Morris gets only back to about the 16-yard line. Knocked down there. Mercury Morris brings the ball back to the 16. 1:57 to go. And this is the spot they're going to have to call a 2-minute warning. So, with 1:52 to go, they have called the 2-minute warning. And from Los Angeles, we pause. There's timeout with the score now. Miami 14 and Washington 7.
This is Joe Garagiola. You know, this is the time of year you can see some real glamour. No, I'm not talking about the ladies. I'm talking about watching your favorite Super Bowl team execute one of those razzle-dazzle plays like a double or a triple reverse. When they work, they're beautiful to watch. There are some other beautiful things to watch, too, like the 1973 Dodge Charger. For years, Charger has been pleasing the fans with modern, advanced styling. And this year, Chargers topped it all off with a real razzle-dazzle play. In addition to the clean, smooth lines you expect, the 1973 Charger gives you a choice of 3 vinyl roofs. That's right. They've got a canopy vinyl roof, a halo vinyl roof, and a completely different and distinctive vinyl roof for the Charger SE. This vinyl roof and the louvered quarter windows make Charger SE one impressive car. 1973 Charger, a beautiful play from the Dodge boys to you. See it today.
Back in Los Angeles, Jim Simpson saying hello wherever you are. Kyle Road has left our booth and is on his way to a dressing room assignment. And you'll be hearing from Kyle once this game is over. But we'll ride this one out now alone with 1:57 to go in the game. After the blocked field goal attempt, your Premium picked up the ball trying to throw it. It was ruled a fumble. Mike Bass picked it out of midair, went 49 yards for the score. So again, the specialty teams of Washington, as the Redskins have done so often, give them a touchdown. They are still in the game. Miami will try to pick up the first downs. They've got a first down at their own 16-yard line. Greasy splits his backs. Warfield to the left, Twilly to the right. Mercury Morris and Zonker, the men back there to give to Morris, coming around the right side. And a fine play put by Pat Fisher as he wrestles him down at the 19-yard line. Pat Fisher pushed off one big blocker in front of him. And I say a fine play by Pat Fisher. Not only was it fine, but Pat, a 12-year veteran, is only 5'9". They list him at 170 pounds. That was quite a job he had in front of him. It is second down. 1:51 to go. Jim Kick has now come in. Mercury Morris has gone out. Twilly right, Warfield left. Second down from the 19-yard line. The backs are split. Greasy calling signals. He's going to throw. He's putting it up in the air for Warfield, and Bass knocks him off his feet. He spins away from 2 men, but it's really stepped out of bounds. But it is a first down for Miami at the 31. Well, there's one of those passes you wonder about. It came off fine, greasy, fine quarterback, one of the best in the business, went with a flat pass. And you know what can happen in a flat pass? It can be picked off and returned all the way, the other way, for a touchdown. It took a lot of nerve on behalf of Bob Greasy to put that ball out in the flat like that. But it worked out. The ball is out to just over the 30-yard line, 1:45 to go, and it's a first down for the Dolphins. Twilley to the right, Warfield to the left. 14-7 the score, Miami. Redskins with a bundle of people up on the line expecting the run rather than the pass. The ball is handed to Jim Kick, tries to get outside, and Brig Owens, a strong side safety, throws him for a loss, waiting for him at the 29-yard line. And quickly, Washington calls timeout to stop the clock with 1:39 to go. Redskins equipment man runs on the field, needed water. Dolphins man does the same thing. It's been a very, very hot afternoon in Los Angeles. Perhaps not so for the 90,000 plus seated here in the Coliseum, but certainly so for those who must play on the Coliseum floor. At the beginning of the game, the temperature was 86 degrees on the Coliseum floor. At the beginning of the second half, it was 80 degrees. It is second down and about 11 to go now. For the Miami Dolphins, the clock has been stopped. Equipment men on their way off the field. Jack Pardee, who has been around for quite some time. He is a graduate of Texas A&M, played for many years for the Rams. In his 15th year, 36 years old, he is as much a coach, although not listed, as he is a player. Came over and talked with his head coach, George Allen, about what defenses to use. Miami dominated the first half, scoring 7 points on a Greasy to Twilley pass of 28 yards. Montecani's interception set up a Jim Kick 1-yard plunge. Miami had a 47-yard field goal, 47-yard touchdown called back because of illegal procedure. Then in this half, Washington moved the ball, yet Miami was all the way down to the 5-yard line, threw into the end zone for Marv Fleming. Brig Owens intercepted that. The Dolphins have had many opportunities. The Redskins only a few, and their only touchdown has been on the 49-yard fumble recovery return of Mike Bass. Second down 11. Again, a lot of folks up on that line for the Washington Redskins, figuring that Greasy, with only one setback, will not be throwing, but he showed nerve before. Hands this ball to Zonka, swinging out to the left side. Zonka is going to be gang tackled as he crosses the 30 to the 33, and it's going to be third down and 7 yards to go. And again, time has been called. 1:31 left. And now we come to one of the big plays of the game. In that, it is third down and a long 7 to go. If Miami does not get it, the Redskins get the football and the chance to tie the game and to send it into sudden death. Mike Bass is now limping off the field. Ted Vactor has to go in. Bass plays the right corner spot. Vactor, though, has had a lot of experience. He is not an untried rookie out there. Miami keeps the ball, gets the first down. Well, they can call this their first Super Bowl victory and the first ever for Don Shula, who missed as coach of the Baltimore Colts and missed last year as coach of these Miami Dolphins. What a job George Allen has done in 2 years in resurrecting the Redskins to bring them to the Super Bowl. And what a job Don Shula has done to take over an expansion team and in 3 years take them to the playoffs 3 consecutive years and the last 2 years to the Super Bowl. 2 great coaches, 2 fine teams, and thus far today, the better-looking ball club, statistics and score prove it, has been the Miami Dolphins, trying to win their 17th in a row without a loss. Never been done before. In the old All-America Conference, of course, the Cleveland Browns won 14 in a row, but in National Football League history, nobody's gone through a season undefeated. But as Don Shula said, and we repeated earlier, if we make it 17-0, we have done our job. 16-1 means nothing. Right now, he leads by a touchdown. Third down and about 8. Mercury Morris has come in. 1:31 to go. Dolphins either get to keep the ball after this or the Redskins get it. I formation. Warfield left, Twilley to the right. Morris and Zonka the setbacks. The ball is pitched to Mercury Morris coming around the right side. Morris comes outside the 30 and gets to the 35 only. The Dolphins will have to give up the football. Time has been called by the Redskins again, and I believe that's all they get. They're out of timeouts, but they will get the football. 1:23 showing on the clock. Don Shula walking back and forth. On the opposite sidelines, George Allen just as nervous on this sideline, and for the first time, we see that people have come out of the stands are now beginning to ring the field. 123, Heyman, very fine punt return kickoff man, will have the sun in his eyes as he goes back inside the 25. Seipel has been kicking very well this afternoon, steps at his own 21. Tommy Bell walks back. One of the officials is over the ball. Now they'll wind the clock. Clock starts on the snap of the ball after the timeout by the Redskins. Seipel waits at the 21. The ball is up. Nearly blocked. Heyman goes over to the 24-yard line. Has it there. Tries to get around several men. Does, and finally goes down at the 30-yard line. Tripped up at the 30. 1:14 to go. Hubert Ginn, for about the third time this afternoon, is down very quickly under a kick. A 40-yard punt, a 3-yard return. 1:14 to go. Redskins on the field. Taylor to the left. Jefferson to the right. They have not started the clock yet. They make sure everybody's there. Now they wind the clock. The clock starts 1:10 to go. Gilmer comes back, looks down and out, and overthrows his man, Larry Brown, but that stops the clock, which was the primary procedure and intent on that particular play. Stops the clock with 1:09 to go. Well, we will either have a Miami victory or we will have a sudden death. 70 yards to go in 1:09, second down and 10 to go. The Michigan band, which performed so ably before the game and so beautifully at halftime, crouched down preparing to march onto the field at the track here at the Los Angeles Coliseum. Down below us, fans ringing the field. Sun is still out, very warm afternoon, and the dramatic moments are now. Larry Brown flanks himself to the left. Taylor is to the left. Jefferson to the right. Gilmer goes back to throw. Gilmer looks, throws downfield, and a host of people intended for Taylor. Curtis Johnson was deep, and Mike Colon had dropped off from his right linebacker spot. They had double-teamed Charlie Taylor, and the ball was thrown out of bounds. Now it'll be third down and 10 for the Washington Redskins. They must get the 10 yards before they can worry about the touchdown. From the 30-yard line, Taylor walking slowly back. Nobody's going to take themselves out now because they're a little tired. They've got to stay in. They've only got 1 minute and 4 seconds to go. Of course, the Dolphins have 9 men that will go on to play for the American Football Conference and the Pro Bowl. The Redskins have 5 men that will advance to the Pro Bowl, but $15,000 to the winner here today, $7,500 to the loser. Gilmer is back, being blitzed. Has his helmet taken off, throws to Larry Brown, who's down at the 22. A loss on the play from a 30 back to the 22. Den Herder made the tackle of Brown, but Billy Kilmer was really getting his head taken off. Let's change that. Den Herder did that, forcing the play. It is 4th down, clock running, 40 seconds to go. Kilmer back to play and pass. He is going to be sacked at the 17-yard line by the defensive end. Clock is running, 33 seconds to go. They'll start it. The Dolphins don't have to do a thing. They're shaking hands with one another. Their defense held out the Redskin offense all day long. It was the Redskins special teams that scored the only points of the day for Washington. And Don Shula, after 2 consecutive losses in the Super Bowl, is about to win his first. George Allen, in his first Super Bowl ever, is about to lose. The fans are beginning to come out of the stands. Lots of youngsters coming out on the far side around the Miami Dolphins bench. 33 seconds to go once they come back out. Now fans are beginning to go across the field in the playing field. Not at the end in which the Redskins and Dolphins are huddled, however. But they figure it's all over, and they're racing for the Dolphin bench. The Dolphins, apparently the first Super Bowl champions for the first time in their history. That team is not very old, remember. And Don Shula has turned it around. He is Coach of the Year, and I think today's performance by his Dolphins proved that. Well, Oakland figures that they should be in the playoffs, despite that last play in the Pittsburgh game. Pittsburgh had a great game against Miami. Cleveland had a great game against Miami. Many teams in the American Conference wanted to get here. They were not dominated, as Washington dominated Green Bay and Dallas in the playoffs. Miami, when they had to put it all together, put it together this afternoon.
Clock is running at 10.
Clock is starting to run again. 5 seconds. Dolphins don't even want to come to the huddle. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. They'll not get another play off. The fans swarm on the field. 2 seconds to go, and they stop the clock right there. And now everybody's going as they let the clock run out. Super Bowl VII is over. The American Football Conference owns a 4-3 lead over the National Football Conference. And most of all, congratulations to Don Shula, his staff, the Miami Dolphins, and to the fans of the Dolphins of Miami. For the first time in their history, they are winners of the Super Bowl. Congratulations. That's the end of the game. Final score, Miami 14, Washington 7.
Here's a weather forecast for the Bay Area. This is a brand new weather forecast. Now, there's supposed to be some rain tonight, cloudy with rain likely beginning late tonight and continuing through Monday night. Partial clearing Tuesday with a chance of showers. A little cooler Tuesday, low tonight and Monday night in the mid-40s to low 50s. High tomorrow in the 50s, light winds becoming southerly 10 to 20 miles per hour tonight. San Francisco temperature is 57 degrees downtown. At San Francisco International Airport, 57, Oakland Airport, 59, San Jose Airport, 60, Hamilton Air Force Base, it's 56. For the Sierra Fair today, increasing cloudiness tonight, and tomorrow, rain likely from about Yosemite northward by late tomorrow. Continued mild temperatures with snow level above 7,000 feet tomorrow, windy in the north tomorrow. US 50 Echo Summit, open icy spots, Twin Bridges to Nevada State Line, carry chains, weather is fair. Interstate 80, open, carry chains, variable, high cloudiness.
A happy Miami Dolphin team is heading for the dressing room. A dejected Washington Redskin team walking right along with them. They must go through the same tunnel as on the field. The University of Michigan band begins to play. Fans cavort with Dolphin signs saying they're number one. As from Los Angeles, we pause 10 seconds for station identification.
This is KNBR San Francisco. Hear the Mike Clary Show tomorrow between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m.
Jim Simpson back here in Los Angeles Coliseum. We are looking now into the Miami Dolphins dressing room by way of the monitor. Manny Fernandez comes in, hugs Larry Zonka and Jim Kick. They're thrilled. They've won the Super Bowl. They get the Super Bowl rings. They've won the $15,000. First prize to every man. And we'll point out that by winning 17 games in one season, the Miami Dolphins have not only won the Super Bowl, but they've done something unprecedented. No team ever went through in the National Football League, winning 14 in a row, as Miami did. And, of course, under the current divisional conference and Super Bowl championships, they're able to extend it to 17 in a row. And, yes, one team in the National Football League has won more games consecutively, but over 2 seasons. The Chicago Bears won 18 in a row twice. So I'm sure the Miami Dolphin fans, if they don't know it already, will be looking ahead to the Miami Dolphins schedule when it comes out to see whether or not they can tie or beat that record and get 1973 season off to a great start. Well, the final score on a 28-yard touchdown pass to Howard Twilley from Bob Greasy toward the end of the first quarter, and a Jim Kick 1-yard plunge made it 14-0. That's the Miami scoring. Washington really never came close. Tried a 32-yard field goal. In the third quarter, that was no good. And Billy Kilmer was intercepted 3 times for 95 yards. Washington got its only score with less than 2 minutes to go. 49-yard return by Mike Bass. A Viguero Yepremian fumbled into midair after a blocked kick. That's the way it all ended. 14-7. Super Bowl VII goes to Miami. Our spotters, and they've done an excellent job this afternoon, Ozzie Lang and Tom Bishop. Our statisticians have been Dr. Bob Woods and Steve Cook. Our NBC engineer is Johnny Pollock, and our NBC producer, Al Ashby. Now this is Jim Simpson, along with Kyle Rhodes, saying that Super Bowl VII has been brought to you by Wynn's Friction Proofing, the oil additive that helps your car engine start easier on cold winter mornings, and by Chrysler Corporation, Extra Care and Engineering. Your host today, your local Dodge dealer. And again, for Kyle Rhodes, Jim Simpson, speaking to wherever you are, here or around the world, saying goodbye from Los Angeles, California, where Super Bowl VII was won by Miami 14-7 over Washington. This has been a sports presentation of the NBC Radio Network.